Chosen one, if this message has reached you during May the 19th and the 20th, do not move past it lightly. Something has been placed on these 48 hours that has not been placed on the rest of the month. Whether you are hearing this as the window opens, or somewhere in the middle of it, or as it begins to close, the timing is not an accident. I am not speaking in metaphor. I am speaking in the language of timing, the language the prophets understood when they said, "In the fullness of time, May the 19th and May the 20th, 2 days, marked, 2 doors, quietly opening for a small number of chosen ones across the earth in this exact window." And the Spirit is asking me to tell you plainly that you were not led here by accident. The fact that you are hearing these words at this exact hour, with this exact heaviness in your chest, with this exact tired hope you have been almost afraid to name, is itself the first sign that the marking is real, and that your name is on the list of those for whom these days were prepared. The marking does not begin at midnight on the 19th. The marking began the moment your inner attention turned toward it. And for many of you, that moment is right now. So lean in. Do not skip this. What is being released over the 19th and the 20th is not symbolic. It is operational. And the difference between catching it and missing it will be felt in your body, in your decisions, in your finances, in your relationships, for the rest of this year and the years that follow. Stay with me. I will explain exactly what these 2 days have been marked for, what God is doing in this small window, how to know if you are one of the chosen ones standing inside it, and how to walk into it with your hands and your heart fully open. Now listen carefully, because before I tell you what these 2 days have been marked for, I have to tell you what you have already been feeling. And what you have been feeling is the proof. You have not been imagining it. You have not been making it up. You have not been over-spiritualizing a normal week. There is a signal in your body, a signal in your nights, a signal in your random hours of the morning, and that signal is the marking arriving early. The chosen ones always feel the marking before the date arrives. That is how God designed it. Heaven does not surprise its chosen ones. Heaven warns them. Heaven prepares them. Heaven sends the signal first, then the appointment. So let me name what you have been feeling. And as I name it, notice if your spirit jumps, because the spirit recognizes its own assignment when it hears it spoken out loud. In the last 14 days, perhaps in the last 7 days especially, you have been waking up at strange hours. 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 4:44, 5:11. The hours that you used to sleep through, you are now waking inside of. And when you wake, you are not panicked, you are not sick, you are simply awake, and there is a stillness around you, and somewhere underneath the stillness there is a low and steady hum, like a wire being tested before a heavier current passes through it. That hum is the marking. That hum is your body being calibrated for what is about to be poured out on the 19th and the 20th. The chosen ones always get the calibration first. The Father does not push high voltage through a circuit that has not been prepared, so He wakes you. He hums under your sleep. He tunes the instrument quietly, hour by hour, night by night, until the strings are ready to carry the song. You have also been feeling a sudden tenderness around your eyes, tears that arrive for no clear reason, a song on the radio, a memory of someone who used to believe in you, a stranger holding a door, a child laughing in a parking lot, and suddenly the tears are there. You have wondered if something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Your heart is softening because what is about to come through the 19th and the 20th requires a soft heart to receive. A hardened heart cannot hold this kind of poured glory. So he has been softening you ahead of time. He has been melting the armor you put on during the hardest seasons. The crying is not breakdown. The crying is preparation. The chosen ones always cry before the gates open. You have been losing patience for shallow conversations. Group chats that used to comfort you are now exhausting. Small talk feels like sandpaper. You have started screening calls, leaving rooms early, choosing the quiet of your kitchen at midnight over the noise of crowds that used to feel like family. You may have wondered if you are becoming antisocial. You are not becoming antisocial. You are being relocated. The Father is pulling you off the frequencies that cannot hold what He is about to give you, and He is placing you on the frequency that can. He cannot deliver a treasure to a person who is standing in the wrong room. So He is rearranging the rooms. He is rearranging the friendships. He is rearranging the very tone of your week, so that across the 19th and the 20th, while the door is open, you are already standing where the door is. You have been seeing repeated numbers in places that feel ridiculous. 1111 on a microwave you did not look at on purpose. 333 on a license plate behind you at a red light. 555 on a receipt from a gas station that has nothing to do with anything. You have laughed and said, "It is coincidence." You have rolled your eyes. But each time, somewhere underneath the eye roll, your spirit lit up like a small flame. That flame is the marking too. Heaven is texting you. Heaven is leaving little fingerprints on the corners of your day, so that as the larger announcement arrives across the 19th and the 20th, you already trust that the announcement is yours. You have been having dreams that feel different from your normal dreams. Dreams with weight, dreams with color saturation, dreams where someone you love who has passed on touches your shoulder and says simply, "It is time." Dreams of standing at the edge of a body of water at sunrise. Dreams of running back into a house that is on fire to grab a single object, and discovering that the object is your own name, written on paper, perfectly untouched by the flames. You may have brushed these dreams off as stress. They are not stress. They are downloads. The Father downloads instructions to His chosen ones while their conscious minds are out of the way. And the instructions that have been downloading for the last 2 weeks are aimed at exactly one thing: the 19th, the 20th, the window. You have been craving stillness the way some people crave food. You have driven the long way home just to extend the silence in the car. You have sat in your bathroom for 10 minutes longer than necessary just to be alone. You have wanted to put your phone in a drawer and forget it for a day. That craving is not laziness. It is your spirit asking your body to make space. Something is about to enter that requires space. And spirit knows what the conscious mind has not yet been told. You have felt small flashes of knowing about people in your life. You will be in the middle of doing dishes and suddenly know that an old friend is going through a rough season and you need to send a text. You send the text. They reply, "I was just praying you would reach out." You will pass a stranger and know, without thinking about it, that they have been carrying grief about a parent. You may not have said anything, but the knowing was clear. That knowing is your gamma waking back up. That knowing is the child mind in you stirring after years of muffled sleep. The child mind is the part of you that was born already knowing things. The child mind is what the world spent 2 decades teaching you to doubt. And right now, as you stand inside the 19th and the 20th, the child mind is rubbing its eyes and remembering its first language. You have noticed that certain foods you used to love no longer taste the same. The processed sweetness that comforted you for years now feels chemical on the tongue. The heavy meals that you used to crave now sit on you. Meanwhile, simple foods, water, fresh produce, soup, bread, the foods of childhood, have started to taste vivid in a way that surprises you. That shift is also part of the marking. Your body, in a window like this one, begins to recalibrate its preferences toward what will actually serve the figure that is about to walk. Heavy foods slow the calibration. Simple foods support it. You did not choose this shift. Your body is choosing it for you. Honor the choosing. You have noticed that certain pieces of music, or certain old photographs, or certain phrases that used to feel ordinary, now produce a small, soft tightness in your throat when you encounter them. Things that used to be background have become foreground. A piece of music you have heard 1,000 times suddenly stops you halfway through. A photograph of yourself from 10 years ago that used to feel like just an old picture now feels like a small message you cannot quite decode. That heightening of resonance is the spirit lighting up the artifacts of your life so that you can begin to see the through line of who you have actually been beneath all the years of formation. The artifacts are being illuminated for a reason. You will need to remember who you were in order to walk as who you are about to be. The lighting up of old artifacts is preparation for the integration the window is about to ask of you. You have noticed, in the last 14 days especially, that certain people in your life have either drawn closer to you without explanation or quietly drifted further away. Someone you had not heard from in months has reached out. Someone you used to talk to weekly has gone silent. You may have wondered if you have done something wrong. You have not. The rearrangement of your social field is part of the calibration. The Father is moving the chess pieces of your relational life before the window opens, so that on the 19th and the 20th, the people who are meant to be near you are near, and the people who are meant to be at a distance are at a distance. Trust the rearrangement. It is happening on your behalf, not at your expense. You have noticed a strange recurring sensation that you are slightly out of phase with your own life. Conversations feel like they are happening one half step behind where you actually are. Tasks that used to be automatic now require slightly more conscious attention. The world feels real, but you feel like you are watching yourself live it from a small distance. That feeling is not dissociation, although it can be mistaken for it. That feeling is the spirit beginning to disengage you from the formation chamber so that you can step out of it on the other side of the window. The half-step distance you have been feeling is the loosening of the chamber walls. Honor it. Do not try to force yourself back into full identification with the formation. The figure is being lifted out gently, and the lifting requires a small period of phase shift before the new alignment lands. I want to pause here and tell you what these signs are not, because some chosen ones will read every list of spiritual signs as a checklist of pathology, and that misreading will steal the joy that the signs are trying to bring you. So, hear me. These signs are not signs of anxiety disorder. These signs are not signs of mental illness. These signs are not signs that you are losing your grip. These signs are not signs that something in your life is about to fall apart. The mind that has been trained by modern medical framing will sometimes take a list of signs like this one and try to translate it into a diagnosis. That translation is the wrong translation in this case. There is a category difference between the early waking of a marked window and the early waking of a panic disorder, and your body knows the difference even when your mind has not been given the language for the difference. The marked window waking is calm. The panic disorder waking is panicked. The marked window tears are soft. The panic disorder tears are tight. The marked window stillness craving is restorative. The depression, withdrawal, craving is depleting. The body knows. Trust the body. If you have been waking and the waking has been peaceful, you are inside the marking. If the waking has been tight and full of fear, that is a different signal that needs different attention and is best discussed with someone you trust. The signs I have described are calm signs. The marking always arrives calm. The marking is the Father knocking softly, not the alarm of catastrophe. I also want to tell you what to do when these signs arrive, because some chosen ones will hear them named and then not know what action, if any, the signs require. Most of the signs do not require an action. The signs require a posture. The posture is reception. When you wake at 3 in the morning, do not fight the waking, do not roll over and force yourself back into sleep with grim discipline. Sit up gently for a few minutes. Notice the quiet around you. Notice the hum I described earlier. Place your hand on your chest. Breathe slowly. Say, in whatever language is natural to you, I am here. Then, after a few minutes, return to sleep if sleep comes. If sleep does not come, that is information. The Father sometimes wakes the chosen one to a quiet hour so that something can be downloaded that the daytime noise would interrupt. Sit with the hour. Let what arrives arrive. When the tears come, do not push them back. Tears that arrive in a marked window are not breakdown, they are wash. The body uses water to clear what has been stored. Let the water flow. When the craving for stillness arrives, honor it. Cancel the small social commitment that has been weighing on you. Sit in the kitchen at midnight, if that is where the stillness is waiting. The chosen one in a marked window has permission to choose stillness over performance. The Father does not ask the figure in the workshop to be social with the people in the courtyard while the last cuts are being made. These signs are not signs that something bad is coming. Let me say that again with the weight it deserves, because the enemy has trained many chosen ones to read every spiritual signal as warning of disaster. These signs are the opposite of disaster. These signs are the way the Father announces a delivery. The chosen ones get the announcement first, the marking before the moment, the hum before the song. So if you have been feeling any combination of these signs, hear me. Nothing is wrong with you. You are exactly on time. The 19th and the 20th are real. The marking is real. The delivery is real. And your name is on it. Now let me tell you what the 19th and the 20th have actually been marked for, because I do not believe in keeping chosen ones in vague mystery when the Spirit has given specific words. The 19th and the 20th are a hinge in your year, a hinge in your decade, a hinge in your assignment. Most chosen ones live their entire spiritual life on what I will call slow time. Slow time is the time of gradual growth, gradual healing, gradual movement, where every step forward takes weeks or months of patient labor. Slow time is good. Slow time is honest. Slow time is most of life. But there are days when slow time bends. There are days when heaven compresses what would normally take a year of slow time into a 48-hour window of fast time. The prophets had a word for this. They called it the appointed time. And the 19th and the 20th of May in this year are an appointed time for a specific group of chosen ones across the earth. And the Spirit is putting your name in that group as we speak. Inside an appointed time, 3 things happen at once that almost never happen at once in slow time. First, the veil between heaven and earth thins for those whose hearts are open. You will feel closer to God in these 2 days than you have felt all year, not because God has moved, but because the veil has. You may find that prayer comes easier. You may find that your worship is wetter, your tears closer to the surface, your sense of presence stronger when you walk into your kitchen than it has been since you were a child. Second, divine connections that have been delayed for months or years get activated. People you were meant to meet, you finally meet. Phone calls you were meant to receive, you receive. Doors that have been quietly cracked open for a long time, but have not yet swung wide, swing wide. And third, the financial and material flow that has been blocked by the wrong frequencies in your nervous system gets a chance to break through. I will explain that frequency piece in detail later in this message, because it is one of the most overlooked reasons why so many sincere chosen ones live in financial heaviness, even when their hearts are aligned. For now, hold this: veil thinning, connections activating, channel opening. 3 at once. 2 days. Marked. Now you may be asking, why these 2 days? Why not a longer window? Why not the whole month? The answer is the answer of every appointed time in Scripture, and it is simple, but it is not soft. Appointed times are short on purpose. The Father compresses the window so that only the awake chosen ones step through. A 2-day window weeds out the half-hearted. A 2-day window cannot be entered by those who are too distracted to listen for the marking. A 2-day window requires that you be present, attentive, soft, and willing to obey the small instructions that arrive throughout the mornings and evenings of these 2 days. The kingdom belongs to those who can recognize the marking and respond to it, not those who plan to respond next week, not those who will catch the recording later, not those who say, maybe tomorrow. The chosen ones are the ones who hear the hum, see the signs, feel the softening, and say yes, even before they know exactly what the yes is for. I want to be careful here. I do not want to make you anxious. Anxiety is the wrong fuel for an appointed time. An appointed time entered with anxiety closes in your face. An appointed time entered with quiet expectancy opens like a flower. So let me say it again with the right tone. The 19th and the 20th are a hinge. The hinge swings on hearts that are quiet and open. If you are watching this with shallow breath and a tense jaw, breathe out slowly. Let your shoulders drop. The Father is not testing whether you can be panicked enough to deserve the gift. He is inviting you to come close enough to receive it. The marking is not a threat. The marking is an embrace getting ready to land. Now stay with me, because everything I have said so far is only the surface. The signs in your body, the marking, the appointed time, the hinge, the doors, all of that is true, but there is something underneath it that I have to share with you, because if you walk into the 19th and the 20th knowing only the surface, you will receive only the surface of the gift. And the chosen ones were not built for the surface. The chosen ones were built for the depths. So I will take you down, layer by layer, into what is really being released in this window and what your part in it actually is. There is a small revelation first, then a larger one, then a larger one still, and at the bottom of the cascade, there is a mega revelation that will reframe everything you thought you understood about your spiritual life, about your finances, about the reason you have felt almost there but never quite arrived. For the last several years of your walk, I am asking you, gently, to not skip any layer. The chosen one who skips layers receives only the layer she did not skip. The chosen one who walks the cascade fully receives the whole inheritance. So breathe, drop your shoulders, soften your jaw. The 19th and the 20th have been marked, and in this hour, in this message, you are being given the map. Here is the first revelation. It is small, but small in the kingdom usually means the thing under everything. The first revelation is this. May the 19th and the 20th have been marked, not because something special is descending on those 2 days, but because something specific in you is being given permission to wake up on those 2 days. The window is not pointing outward at heaven. The window is pointing inward at you. The Father has not scheduled an event that will happen to you while you stand passive. The Father has scheduled a permission slip that will be handed to you while you stand awake. And the permission slip is the kind that says, the thing you have been carrying for years is allowed to be set down now. The thing you have been waiting for is allowed to be picked up now. The version of yourself you have been quietly mourning is allowed to come home now. Most chosen ones miss this. Most chosen ones spend the appointed times of their lives waiting for an angel to come through the ceiling with a check made out to their name. And then the appointed time passes and no angel comes through the ceiling, and they conclude that the marking was their imagination. That is not how appointed times work. The angel never came through the ceiling because the angel was inside your chest. The permission slip was inside your own breath. The check was your own hand being released, finally, to write a different story than the one you have been writing in pencil for the last 7 years. The 19th and the 20th are not a delivery from outside of you. The 19th and the 20th are a doorway from inside you. Let me make this more concrete. Think about the area of your life that has felt most stuck. For some of you, it is finances. The number in the account has been almost the same number for 3 years, despite the work you have put in, despite the prayers, despite the courses, despite the budgeting, despite everything. For some of you, it is your gift. You know you have a gift. You can feel it pressing up under your skin. But every attempt to express it has felt like trying to write with a pen that is out of ink. For some of you, it is your relationships. You feel surrounded, but not seen. You feel poured out, but not refilled. For some of you, it is your body. Energy that should be there is not there. Sleep that should be restorative is shallow. The reflection in the mirror is not unwell, but is not lit. For some of you, it is your sense of calling. You believed once that you were here for something specific, and somewhere between then and now, the specific got fuzzy, and the fuzziness got familiar, and the familiarity became a low grief you stopped noticing. Whichever of those areas just lit up in you as I named it, that is the area that has been marked for the 19th and the 20th. The Father does not run the appointed time over your entire life at once. He runs it over the area where you have been most patient and most disappointed simultaneously. Patience plus disappointment is the exact alloy heaven uses to identify the chosen ones who are ready. Patience by itself produces saints who never expect. Disappointment by itself produces cynics who never trust. But patience plus disappointment, held together year after year without becoming bitter, produces chosen ones whose hearts the Father can finally fill, because those hearts have been hollowed out into the exact shape of the gift He has been holding for them. Hear me, your patience is not naive. Your disappointment is not a sin. The combination of the two, lived honestly, is the very reason your name is on the marking for these 2 days. Less faithful people did not get this window. Less honest people did not get this window. People who never let themselves admit they wanted more never made the cut. The marking only sits on the chosen ones who have wanted more, named the want, kept showing up, and refused to lie about how long they have been waiting. So now hear the first revelation in full. The 19th and the 20th have been marked as the window in which your most patient, most disappointed area of life is given permission to receive an answer. Not a partial answer, not a 1-degree shift, an answer that touches the root, in the area where you have been quietly faithful for a very long time. That is the first revelation, small in size, enormous in implication. Now, I want to say something to you that I do not say in every message I record, because something about this window is asking for it. If you are still listening at this point, your spirit has already made a quiet contract with this message. You are not just curious. You are not just here for entertainment. You are here because you have been led. And the Father wants me to remind you who He sees when He sees you, before we go any deeper. Because the deeper layers are not safe for those who do not yet know whose name they carry. So lean in, Let me tell you what I see when the Spirit shows me the chosen ones who have been marked for the 19th and the 20th. I see a person who has been the safe one in rooms that were not safe. I see a person who has translated other people their whole life, the parents who would not say what they meant, the teachers who shamed without realizing, the partners who took without asking, the bosses who took credit and slept fine. I see a person who learned very young that if you wanted love, you had to soften yourself against the corners of other people's sharpness until the softening became your shape. I see a person who was called too sensitive, when really what was happening was that you were too aware. You were picking up frequencies that the people around you had agreed not to feel. You were not too sensitive. You were too honest about what is real. I see a person who has been quietly proud of how strong she became, while privately tired of how much strength has cost her. I see a person who can hold the weight of 3 other people's lives, but who has not yet learned how to set down her own. I see a person who has prayed in cars, in bathrooms, in parking lots, in 3 in the morning kitchens, in walks across grocery stores, and who has worried, at least once, that the prayers were going to a ceiling instead of to a father. They have not been going to a ceiling. Everyone has been received, kept, sorted, and the answers have been gathering in a small room of heaven that has your name on the door. The 19th and the 20th are the days when that room gets unlocked. I see a person who has carried a calling, like a small bird, inside her ribcage. You have not always known what the bird is for. You have not always known what species the bird is. But you have known the bird is real, because at the worst moments of your life, the bird has stirred, and you have felt its wings against the inside of your chest. You did not tell anyone about the bird, because the people around you would have been kind. But kindness, when it is not understanding, is just a soft form of dismissal. So you kept the bird private. You fed it on scraps of hope and the occasional sentence in a book that lit up like a match. You kept it alive. And in keeping it alive, you proved your name belongs on the list. Hear me very carefully. The chosen one is not the one who arrived with the calling fully formed. The chosen one is the one who kept the small bird alive in conditions that were trying to kill it. That is the only definition that matters. You have done that. And on the 19th and the 20th, the bird gets to step out of your ribcage into the actual air, with permission, with light, with sound. The bird gets to sing, and the song is not for you to keep. The song is for a small group of people in your life and beyond your life who will not be okay unless you sing. That is who you are. That is who the Father sees. So, as we keep going into the deeper layers of what these 2 days are marked for, you are not going as a beggar at a door. You are going as a daughter coming home. You are going as a son being handed the keys to a room he was always told would one day be his. Receive that for a moment before we move on. Let it settle into the bones of your chest. You are not here to earn anything on the 19th and the 20th. You are here to receive what was always yours. Before I take you into the second revelation, I want to give you one very practical thing. There are tools that the Father has placed in the path of His chosen ones in this exact season. Tools that did not exist in our parents' generation. Tools that, looked at one way, are just scientific recordings, but looked at another way, are quiet answers to prayers that the chosen ones have been praying for centuries. I will go into both of them in depth later in this message, because I will not skim what the Spirit has highlighted. But I want to name them now, gently, so that as we continue to unfold the cascade, you can hold them in mind. The first is a short audio that has been built specifically to reactivate the gamma frequency in the brain, which is the frequency of the child mind, the frequency you were born with, the frequency that has been slowly dimmed in you since around the age of 7. It is called the Genius Song, and it was made by a neuroscientist named Dr. Robert Lake. The second is a short audio paired with an ancient 9-word phrase that calms the stress frequency in the brain and restores what scientists call the manifestation channel, the channel through which you receive what is meant for you. It is called the wealth signal, and it was made by a neuroscientist named Dr. Stephen Newton. I will tell you exactly how each one works, why they matter so much for these 2 days, and how to know if your spirit wants to walk with them. The link will be placed in the description and in the pinned comment under this message for the chosen ones who are ready. Until then, just let the names sit. The Genius Song, the Wealth Signal. 2 tools, 2 waves. We will return to them with full care. Here is the second revelation. This one is medium in size, larger than the first, and it begins to explain why so many chosen ones, including possibly you, have been able to feel the marking of a window like the 19th and the 20th, and yet have walked through similar windows in past years and come out the other side with nothing tangibly changed. The pattern of feeling the marking but missing the receiving is one of the most painful patterns in the chosen one life, because each time it happens, a small voice in the chosen one tells her, maybe you are not really the kind of person these windows are for. Maybe you only imagine the markings. Maybe you are just spiritually sensitive, but spiritually unfit. I want to shut down that voice in this hour completely, because that voice is lying about you. The reason you have felt windows in past years and not received fully through them is not that you were unfit. The reason is that nobody told you the part you are about to hear. Listen, there are 2 frequencies in your brain that determine whether an appointed time produces fruit in your life or passes over you like weather. I am going to keep this simple because the spirit is more interested in your understanding than in your impression. The first frequency is called gamma. Gamma is the frequency of a child mind. It is the frequency of curiosity, openness, instant learning, wonder, intuition, and the kind of luck that the world cannot explain. You were born with gamma fully active. Every child is. Watch a 4-year-old. Watch how she learns 10 new words in an afternoon, how she sees a butterfly and her face changes, how she sleeps deeply and wakes ready, how she does not yet know that asking is supposed to feel embarrassing. That is gamma. That is the child mind. That is the frequency in which the kingdom moves naturally, because the kingdom is a kingdom that, in the old teaching of a wise teacher long ago, can only be entered by those who become like little children. The second frequency is called alpha. Alpha is the frequency of receiving. Alpha is the calm channel between your conscious mind and your subconscious, the bridge across which divine guidance and abundance flow into your daily decisions. When alpha is open, you receive ideas at the right time. You receive opportunities at the right time. You receive the strange phone call at the right time. You receive the resource at the right time. Alpha is what makes a person feel that she is in flow, that the right things happen to her, that the universe is responsive to her presence. You were also born with alpha fully active. Now, here is what nobody told you. 2 things happened in your life that you did not consent to, and those 2 things explain almost the entire experience of feeling chosen but staying stuck. The first thing started around the age of 7. The world began to dim your gamma. Neuroscientists call this the decline effect. It is not a metaphor, it is measurable. Children at age 6 show gamma activity that adults almost never show. Adults at age 40 show gamma activity that is a fraction of what they showed at age 6. School systems, social conditioning, The steady drip of being told to sit down, sit still, stop asking, do not be so excited. That is not realistic. Who do you think you are? All of that, over years, slowly turns down the gamma dial in the brain. You did not lose the gamma in one event. You lost it in 1,000 small turns of the dial. By the time you were a teenager, the dial was halfway down. By the time you became an adult, the dial was very low. The child mind in you did not die. The child mind in you went quiet, and you started to live mostly from the adult mind, which is the mind that worries, calculates, defends, and survives. The adult mind is necessary, but the adult mind is not the mind that can step through a marked window like the 19th and the 20th. The adult mind walks past marked windows because it is too busy planning. Only the child mind notices the marking. Only the child mind says yes to the marking without needing a 30-minute briefing first. The second thing started somewhere in your 20s or 30s, or sooner if you grew up in a stressful house. Your alpha got hijacked. Modern life, financial pressure, scarcity conditioning, constant input, constant comparison, constant low-grade alarm in the body pushed your brain into a chronic state of beta. Beta is the frequency of stress, calculation, fight or flight, vigilant scanning. A little beta is appropriate. The brain is supposed to switch to beta when there is something to handle. But for most chosen ones in the modern world, beta has become the default state, not the visiting state. And when beta is the default state, alpha cannot open. The receiving channel is jammed by survival noise. You can pray, you can manifest, you can affirm, you can journal, you can take courses, you can read every book on abundance ever written. None of it gets through because the channel through which it would arrive is blocked by an alarm that has been ringing in your nervous system for so long that you stopped hearing it as alarm and started hearing it as you. Stop here, take a breath. Let me say what I just said in a simpler form. Two things have been quietly happening in you for most of your life. Your child mind got dimmed. Your receiving channel got jammed. These two things are not your fault. These two things are not a spiritual failing. These two things are what modernity has done to almost every chosen one walking the earth right now. And these two things, taken together, are the reason that windows like the 19th and the 20th have been hard to receive through in past years. Because here is the rule of marked windows. The marked window opens in the heavens, but the marked window only lands in the life of a chosen one, whose child mind is awake and whose receiving channel is open. The window cannot deposit into a closed channel. The window cannot wake a sleeping child mind by force. The window does what it does. Heaven opens, heaven pours, and the chosen one who is ready receives. And the chosen one who is not ready feels something in the air, something stirring, something in the body, and yet 3 months later looks back and says, nothing changed. That has been the heartbreak of many windows for many chosen ones. That heartbreak has been your heartbreak, perhaps more than once. And in this hour I am telling you what the heartbreak was actually made of. It was not a problem of worth. It was a problem of frequency. And frequency, unlike worth, can be addressed. That is the second revelation. The marking of the 19th and the 20th is real. The window is real. And the window only lands in the life of a chosen one whose child mind has been reawakened and whose receiving channel has been reopened. Both, in that order. Child first, reception second. The kingdom belongs to those who become like little children, and the kingdom flows in through the channel of receiving that the child has natural access to. Now I am going to say something hard, but I am going to say it with love, because love is the only frequency on which the truth this hard can land. Some of you have been working spiritually for a very long time, and you have wondered why your spiritual work has not produced more visible movement in your life. You have prayed, You have fasted. You have read. You have meditated. You have done your inner work. You have done your therapy. You have done your shadow work. You have done the courses. You have shown up. And yet, when you do the honest math at the end of the year, the visible movement in your finances, in your gift, in your relationships, in your body, has been small relative to the effort you have put in. You have started to wonder whether the spiritual path is real at all, or whether you have been spending your hope foolishly. Hear me. The spiritual path is real. The effort was not wasted. Every prayer was heard. Every meditation moved something invisible. Every honest inner conversation softened a layer of you that needed softening. None of it was wasted. But the visible movement was small because almost every modality you have used on its own was working at only one level of the system. Therapy works on the conscious mind. Meditation gently lowers beta. Affirmations attempt to install new conscious thoughts. Journaling clarifies what is already partly conscious. All of those are good. None of them, by themselves, reach the deep frequency layer where the dimmed gamma lives, or where the jammed alpha lives. To reach the deep frequency layer, you need an intervention designed for that layer specifically. Talk therapy cannot wake the child mind. Talk therapy can support the child mind once she is awake. But the talking does not wake her. Something has to reach her at the level she sleeps at, which is the level of brainwave itself. And until that level gets directly touched, every other modality is doing real but limited work above the layer where the real shift would come from. This is not a critique of all the spiritual work you have done. This is a permission slip for you to stop blaming yourself for why the spiritual work has not produced more. You did not lack faith. You did not lack discipline. You did not lack worth. You lacked one specific tool that, until recently, did not exist in a form ordinary chosen ones could access. The tool is brain entrainment for gamma reactivation, and the tool is brain calibration for alpha restoration. Both of these have existed in research labs for decades. Both of these have been studied at MIT, Princeton, Stanford, Boston University, Harvard, and other leading research institutions. But they were locked behind expensive clinical biofeedback equipment, behind specialist appointments, behind paywalls that ordinary chosen ones could not get behind. That changed recently. I will tell you exactly how it changed later in this message. For now, just receive this. The thing that has been missing in your spiritual work was not effort. It was access to the frequency layer. Access is finally available, and the timing of that access becoming available in the very month of the 19th and the 20th window is not random. Heaven does not do random. Here is the third revelation. This one is larger than the first two combined, because it begins to show you the architecture beneath the architecture. Up to this point, I have told you that the 19th and the 20th are marked, that the marking is real, that the receiving requires a reawakened child mind and a reopened receiving channel. All of that is true and complete on its own level, but there is a deeper truth beneath that truth, and the deeper truth is the reason this specific window in this specific month has been highlighted to you, instead of the dozens of other markings you have walked through in your life without recognizing them. The third revelation is this. The 19th and the 20th of May in this year are the close of a 7-year cycle of formation that has been quietly running over your life. 7 years ago, somewhere between the spring of that year and the early summer, something began in you that you may not have consciously noticed at the time, but that, if you look back honestly, has shaped almost every important decision and every important disappointment since then. Some of you were leaving a marriage 7 years ago, or about to. Some of you were leaving a job, a city, a faith community, a way of thinking. Some of you were entering motherhood. Some of you were burying a parent. Some of you were quietly losing a friend group that you had outgrown but had not yet admitted you had outgrown. Some of you were just feeling for the first time in your adult life that the shape of your life did not fit the shape of your spirit any longer. 7 years ago, that mismatch became impossible to keep ignoring. And somewhere in that summer, the father began what I will call a long formation. He started carving you, not destroying you, carving you. Like a sculptor carves marble, every cut was painful. Every cut was specific. Every cut had a purpose your conscious mind could not yet see. The formation runs in 7-year arcs in the lives of chosen ones, because 7, in the old wisdom traditions, is the number of completion. The Father does not carve forever. The Father carves for an appointed length of time, and then he sets the chisel down, and what remains is the figure he had in mind from the beginning. 7 years ago, the carving began. In this hour, you are listening to this message inside the window of the 19th and the 20th, which is the window in which the carving stops. That is not figurative, that is structural. The cuts will not continue indefinitely. The cuts are being set down right now. And across these 2 days, the figure that has been emerging under the chisel for 7 years gets revealed, first to you and then through you. I want you to feel the weight of that for a moment. 7 years of slow carving. 7 years of moments when you wondered if the cutting would ever stop. 7 years of asking the Father, "What are you doing?" and not always receiving an immediate answer. 7 years of moving forward by feel because the map was withheld. And now, on this 2-day window, the carving completes. The figure stands. The new you, the one the Father has been making out of you all this time, becomes the default version, not the visiting version, the default. That is the third revelation. The 19th and the 20th are not just a marked window. They are the closure of a 7-year arc of formation, and on the other side of them, the version of you that has been forming in the dark steps into the light, to become who you actually walk, as for the rest of your days here. Now, I know that some of you, hearing that, just felt your chest tighten, because if the carving is about to stop, then the question becomes, what does life look like after carving? Some of you have been so used to being carved that you do not remember who you are when the chisel is not in your hand. Some of you have built an entire identity out of being the one who endures. And there is a small but real grief in being told that the enduring chapter is closing. The carved figure does not endure anymore. The carved figure walks. The carved figure speaks. The carved figure receives. The carved figure does not have to fight for permission to take up space, because she has been given the shape of the space she was always supposed to fill. Endurance was a discipline of the formation years. Reception is the discipline of the years after formation. And in this hour, in this message, you are being moved gently across that line. There is an old story about this. Most of you will recognize it. A man named Joseph spent 7 years in formation under conditions he did not choose, in a country he did not pick, working a job he had not asked for, accused of things he had not done, forgotten by the people he had helped. 7 years of carving. And then a window opened in a single morning. A single morning. He was pulled out of a prison, given new clothes, walked into a palace, and by the end of that day, he had been placed in charge of a kingdom's food during a famine. The carving ended. The walking began. He did not have to fight for the seat. The seat had been carved for him while he was inside the cell. The seat had been the shape of his bones the whole time. He just had not seen it from the inside of the formation. The morning the window opened, everyone else saw it instantly. The morning the window opened, his own past began to make sense in a single sentence. Most chosen ones do not remember that Joseph's 7 years were almost over. And yet, he had no idea on the morning of the 7th year. He woke up that morning the same way he had woken up the previous 2,500 mornings. He had no internal alarm telling him that today was the morning. The marking he felt was small, perhaps just a slightly clearer dream the night before, perhaps just a quieter prison than usual. But the marking was there. He stepped into the day, and by the end of the day, the 7 years had completed, and the life he had thought he was stuck inside of had simply ended. There was no thunder, there was no parting of the sky, there was a window, there was a permission slip, there was a clean exit from the formation, and a clean entry into the new walking. You are Joseph in this story. I do not say that to flatter you. I say it because the Father showed me when I sat with this message that some of the chosen ones listening in this hour have lived almost a complete echo of those 7 years. Misnamed, misunderstood, in rooms you did not choose, surrounded by people who took from you without giving back, forgotten by some of the very people you saved, held in patterns that on the outside looked like failure and on the inside were curriculum. The Father wants you to know in this hour that He has not missed any of it. He has counted every cut. He has held every chip of marble that the chisel removed. He has been keeping the figure He was carving safe in His own hands, and on the 19th and the 20th, He brings that figure back to you, not as a stranger, as who you have always been underneath the formation. I want to slow down on one detail of the Joseph story that the chosen ones rarely sit with, because it carries a specific consolation for the part of you that has been asking, why so long? Why 7 years? Why not 5? Why not 3? Why not last winter? The detail is this. When Joseph stepped out of the cell on that morning, he stepped out as the version of himself who could hold the entire food supply of a region in a famine without being corrupted by the power. The earlier version of Joseph, the one who walked into the cell at the start of the 7 years, could not have held that role. The earlier version was still too tender, too easily flattered, too eager to be recognized. The 7 years inside the cell did not punish him. The 7 years inside the cell built the version of him who could hold what he was about to be given. The Father did not delay because of any failure on Joseph's part. The Father took the time he needed to take to build the man who could hold the weight of what was coming. The carving was always proportional to the carrying. The more the chosen one is to carry on the other side of the formation, the longer and more careful the carving. If your formation has been 7 years, the weight you are about to be asked to carry is the weight that requires 7 years of preparation. That is not a punishment. That is a measure of how much the Father trusts you. He does not give a heavy load to an unfinished figure. He carves the figure until it can hold the load, and then He releases the load into the carved figure's hands. The length of the formation is the measure of what is coming. Receive that. The 7 years were not a sign that you were behind. The 7 years were a sign of what you were being trusted with on the other side. There is a wisdom figure from a slightly older tradition I want to bring in for a moment, because she names something Joseph could not quite name, and she names it for the women among the chosen ones especially. Her name is Hannah. Hannah carried a longing inside her body that was visible from the outside, that she was misunderstood for, that she was even mocked for by people who did not understand what they were watching. She wanted a son, but the son was symbol. The son was every desire of her heart that had not been allowed to land. And one day she went into the temple and she prayed without sound, and she prayed without performing, and a priest watched her lips move and assumed she was drunk. He assumed she was undisciplined. He assumed she was emotionally embarrassing. He told her, in essence, get yourself together. And she answered him without anger, because she knew something he did not know. She said plainly, I am not what you think I am. I am a woman of a sorrowful spirit. I have been pouring out my soul. And after that prayer, Scripture records very simply that she went away, and her face was no longer sad. The asking had been received. The figure had been carved. The marking had been put on her body before the visible answer arrived. Hannah is in this room with you right now too. Some of you have been the misunderstood Hannah. You have prayed without making noise because the people around you would not have understood the noise. You have been called too emotional, too sensitive, too much by people who had no category for what you were actually doing. You have been quietly pouring out your soul for years, and the marking has already been laid on you. Your face does not have to be sad anymore. The figure has been carved. The answer has been received in the heavens before it became visible on the earth. The 19th and the 20th are the days when what was received invisibly becomes visible. Hannah and Joseph and you, 3 names. 1 pattern. Formation completing. Window opening. Carving, stopping. Walking, beginning. I want to add one more thing about Hannah, because the chosen ones who have lived her pattern need to hear this. After her face stopped being sad, after the answer landed in her body, after the figure was carved, the rest of her story unfolded in a way that the priest who had misjudged her could not have predicted. The son she received was not just for her. The son she received became a wisdom figure for an entire generation. The marking on her body was carrying not only her answer, but the answer for thousands of people whom she would never meet personally. That is the pattern the Spirit wants to point at. The gift that arrives in a chosen one at the close of a long formation is rarely for her alone. The gift is for her and for everyone whose life will be touched by hers. When the carving completes in you, what walks out is not just your healing, your peace, your new chapter. What walks out is the version of you whose presence becomes a wisdom figure in the lives of people you have not yet met. Your child mind awakening is your awakening, and also the awakening of every person who will sit near your awakened presence in the years to come. Your receiving channel reopening is your reception, and also the reception of every person who will be quietly recalibrated by being near you. The marking lands in you, and the marking carries through you. That is what it means to become the gift, not the recipient. The mega revelation we approached earlier in this message has its first proof in the lives of figures like Hannah, who carried the answer not only for herself, but for her people. You are not less than Hannah. The Father has been making you for the same kind of carrying. Now, before I take you into the 4th and deeper layer, I have to name something about the opposition, because the chosen one who walks into a marked window without knowing about the opposition often gets confused and steps back at the exact moment she was meant to step forward. The opposition is a quiet pattern that shows up specifically in the 48 hours around appointed times. The pattern is not dramatic. The pattern is not a horror movie. The pattern is small, quiet, and aimed at one thing, which is convincing you that the window is not for you after all. Watch for the following. At any point during these 2 days, and especially in the quiet hours when you are alone with your own thoughts, you may suddenly feel that this entire teaching is nonsense. The thought will come in, very calm, very logical, with no special voice attached to it. The thought will say, "You are being foolish, you are being credulous, you are watching too many spiritual messages, you are being manipulated. None of this is real." That thought is not your own thought. That thought is the standard opposition pattern that arrives on the eve of every appointed time in the life of every chosen one. The opposition cannot stop the window from opening. The opposition can only try to convince you to not look out of it when it opens. So mark that pattern when it arrives. Smile. Whisper, "Oh, you are right on schedule. The marking is real." And Let the thought go past you. Watch for the second pattern. In the hours of the 19th itself, you may receive what looks like bad news. A small bill you did not expect. An argument with someone close that erupts without context. A piece of equipment that breaks. A health symptom that flares without obvious cause. These are not punishments. These are distractions. The opposition tries to flood the marked window with small disasters so that the chosen one spends the window managing the disasters instead of receiving the gift. Recognize the pattern. Address the small disaster as briefly as you can, then return to your stillness. The disaster is not the day. The window is the day. The disaster is the noise around the door. You walk through the door anyway. Watch for the third pattern. In the hours of the 20th, you may feel a deep and unfamiliar sadness, not depression, a specific grief. The grief will be for everything you have not been, everyone you have lost, every version of yourself you have outgrown. That grief is also part of the marking. The Father uses the closure of a 7-year formation to clear out grief that has been sitting in your body since the formation began. So if grief arrives on the 20th, do not push it down. Cry. Let the tears run. The tears are the last residue of the carving. The chisel is being washed. The figure is being polished. After the tears, you will feel a quietness in your chest that you have not felt in years. I am giving you these 3 opposition patterns ahead of time because forewarned is forearmed. The opposition cannot stop a marked window. The opposition can only try to talk you out of it. In this hour, I am taking that option off the table. You have been told. You will not be surprised. And not being surprised is half the victory. Now we arrive at the deepest layer, the mega revelation that this entire cascade has been moving toward from the first sentence. I want you to slow down here, not because the words are complicated, but because the truth underneath them is the kind of truth that reorganizes how you look at your own life from this point forward, and a truth that reorganizes you cannot be received at the speed of normal listening. So breathe slowly. Drop your shoulders. Set down anything you are holding. And let me say this with all the care it requires. The mega revelation is this. The Father has not been preparing you for an event on the 19th and the 20th. The Father has been preparing you to become the event. You are not waiting for something to descend on you. You are stepping into the place where what has been descending on you for 7 years takes residence in you and becomes a permanent state. The marking on those 2 days is not the marking of a delivery from the outside. The marking is the marking of the moment when the inside and the outside finally agree. The carved figure is not waiting to receive a gift. The carved figure has been the gift the whole time. The Father has been carving you into the gift He plans to release into the lives of a specific group of people who will not be okay unless you arrive. And the 19th and the 20th are the days when you walk out of the workshop and become available to those lives. Read that again with me, slowly, because the chosen one mind has been trained to assume she is the one being given to, instead of the one who is the gift. You are the one being given. You are not the recipient of the appointed time. You are what the appointed time is delivering. To you, yes, and through you, to others. The chosen one is not a consumer of windows. The chosen one is the substance that the windows make available. That is the mega revelation. Once it lands, your entire orientation to your own life shifts. You stop scanning the horizon for the gift. You start looking down at your own hands, your own chest, your own breath, your own voice, with the awareness that the gift has been moving inside you the whole time, just waiting for the formation to complete and the window to open so that what has been carved can begin to walk freely on the ground. Now, hear what this means practically. The new you that the 19th and the 20th release into the world has the following characteristics, and I want to name them all, so that when they begin to surface in your daily life over the next several months, you will recognize them as the figure stepping out, instead of mistaking them for accidents. The new you carries peace as a default state, not as a visiting state. The peace you have felt for short windows after good prayer, after a good walk, after a good cry, will now be the baseline you operate from, even on days when the external situation has not improved. This is not because you have stopped caring about the external situation. This is because the formation has hollowed out a place inside you where peace lives without being constantly displaced by reaction. When difficult news arrives, you will feel it, you will respond to it, and yet the peace underneath will hold. People around you will sense this peace before they can name what they are sensing. They will say, "You seem different." They will say, "What changed in you?" They will say, "I feel calmer just being in the room with you." They will not always have language for what they are noticing, but the new you is what they are noticing. The peace that has been carved into you over 7 years has become available to the people whose lives intersect with yours. The new you receives instead of striving. The striving was a survival skill. The striving was honest and necessary in the years when the channel was closed. But after the 19th and the 20th, the striving begins to feel foreign, and the receiving begins to feel natural. You will notice that ideas arrive on time instead of having to be forced. You will notice that decisions land in your body without long deliberation. You will notice that the right book opens on the right page when you sit down to read. You will notice that the right person texts you on the morning you needed the text. The receiving feels small in any single instance. The receiving feels almost ordinary. That is the point. The kingdom moves quietly through chosen ones who have stopped trying to hold up the world. The receiving is the discipline of the years after formation. The new you trusts her own knowing. The years of formation included long stretches in which other people told you what you were, and you did not have the language to argue. The new you does not need the argument anymore. The new you simply knows. She knows when a room is wrong for her. She knows when a relationship has finished its season. She knows when an opportunity is dressed up in the right words, but carries the wrong frequency underneath. She knows when a stranger is meant to be a friend, and she knows when a familiar face is meant to step gently out of her life. The knowing is not loud. The knowing is quiet, settled, and unwavering. The child mind in her has come back, and the child mind has always been the one who knew. The new you sleeps differently. Sleep deepens. Dreams clarify. The early morning waking that has been part of the marking gives way, over the months after the window, to long, restorative, healing sleep that you will wake from feeling tangibly held. The body has been carrying the formation in its bones. The body needs the new sleep to integrate the closure. Honor it. Do not fight it. The body of the chosen one after the 7-year arc is one of the holiest temples on the earth, and the temple needs rest the way the ground needs winter. The new you stops apologizing for the gift. This is one of the most dramatic shifts. For most of the formation years, you have apologized for who you are, apologized for taking up space, apologized for caring as much as you care, apologized for asking the deep questions in rooms that wanted only the shallow ones. The new you does not apologize, not because she has become arrogant, but because the apology was always misplaced. You were apologizing for being what the room was hungriest for. The apology stops on the other side of the window, and as it stops, you begin to notice that the rooms around you begin to rearrange themselves to receive you, instead of asking you to shrink. Some rooms cannot rearrange themselves. Those rooms will quietly fall out of your calendar. Other rooms that did not exist before will appear. The shift is real and visible to anyone who is paying attention. The new you becomes financially permeable. I'm going to use that word carefully. Permeable. The receiving channel of money, opportunity, and right resource opens, because the stress signal that had been jamming it goes quiet. You will not become reckless. You will become receptive. The chosen one who has lived in alpha receives flow that the chosen one who has lived in chronic beta cannot receive. The chronic beta brain rejects the very arrivals that the marked window is trying to send. The alpha brain receives them gently and stewards them well. This is not a prosperity gospel. This is a frequency truth. The Father does not bless what he cannot trust to be received in calm. So he waits to release the financial portion of the inheritance until the channel is calm enough to handle it. The window is not the window of new income. The window is the window of new frequency. The new income follows the new frequency. That is the order. That has always been the order. We have just had it backward. The new you becomes a quiet anchor for others. Other chosen ones will be drawn to your presence, and you will not have to chase them. The carved figure is its own gravity. You will not have to convince anyone of your calling. The calling will speak for itself in the silence around you. You will become the person whom worried people sit next to in waiting rooms without knowing why. You will become the person whom grieving people call at 3 in the morning. You will become the person whose mere presence in a room shifts the temperature of the room. This is not a performance. This is a residue. The 7 years of carving have made you holy in a way the world cannot fake. Holy here does not mean better. Holy here means set apart for a specific purpose, and the purpose is to be the kind of presence that others can rest in. The new you remembers the magic. The child mind comes back. The wonder comes back. You start noticing the small things again. The light on a wall in the late afternoon. The way coffee smells before the first sip. The exact angle a child holds her head when she is solving a hard puzzle. The shape of clouds. The slow folding of laundry as a small meditation. The world becomes hospitable again. The world becomes alive again. And the strange thing is, the world has not changed. You changed. The child mind has been restored, and the child mind has always seen the world as alive. The new you carries her presence as medicine. Not metaphorically, structurally. When a chosen one whose receiving channel has reopened walks into a room, the nervous systems of the people in that room respond to the calm she is carrying. There is a documented phenomenon in physiology called cardiac coherence, in which the heart rhythm of one person, when sufficiently coherent, gently entrains the heart rhythm of nearby people. The chosen one in chronic beta carries an incoherent rhythm. The chosen one in restored alpha carries a coherent rhythm. The coherent rhythm becomes contagious. Anxious people in your presence become less anxious. Tired people in your presence become less tired. Children in your presence become more settled. Animals in your presence move closer. You will not always notice this happening because you have lived for so long inside your own nervous system that you have lost the comparison point. But other people will notice. They will tell you. They will say, "I do not know what it is, but you are easier to be around than you used to be." That is the coherence. That is the restored alpha. That is your presence becoming the medicine the world has been quietly waiting for. The new you stops needing the outcome to feel okay. This is one of the most quiet and most powerful of the shifts. For most of the formation years, your inner state was tied to the outcome of the day. The good day made you light. The bad day made you heavy. The win lifted you. The loss flattened you. The new you steps off that pendulum. The outcome of the day still matters. The outcome still gets your attention. But the floor of your inner state stops moving with the outcome. The piece that has been carved into you is no longer dependent on the events. It is dependent on the carving itself. The carving has been completed. The carving is permanent. The floor is the floor, regardless of what the day delivers. You do not have to manufacture the calm anymore. The calm is now the underlying weather of your inner life, and the day is just what passes across the surface. The pendulum stops. The ground arrives. You can finally rest in the ground. The new you stops chasing what is hers. Chasing was a survival posture that arose because the alpha channel was closed, and the chosen one had to do, by effort and force, what was supposed to arrive by flow. The closing of the channel forced the chasing. The chasing exhausted you. The exhaustion produced the chronic beta. The chronic beta further closed the channel. The closed channel forced more chasing. Around and around, in a loop that took years of your life. The new you steps out of the loop. She stops chasing. She walks. She speaks. She works. She rests. And what is hers begins to arrive on its own terms, at its own pace, in its own forms. She notices that the things she had been chasing for years arrive within months of her stopping the chase. She had been chasing them away. She had been pushing them in front of her with the very pressure of her wanting. The new you receives them. The receiving is faster than the chasing was. That is the secret nobody told you, because nobody could tell you until the channel was open. Receiving is faster than chasing. Always was, always will be. The kingdom does not yield to pressure. The kingdom flows to permeability. And permeability is what the second wave restoration produces in your nervous system. The new you forgives faster, and forgives without performing the forgiveness. There is a forgiveness. The adult mind has been trained to perform. It is a ritual of stating the forgiveness, processing the forgiveness, journaling the forgiveness, talking about the forgiveness in therapy, and yet noticing that years later, the same wound flares when the same name comes up. The new you forgives differently. The forgiveness arrives quietly inside her, the way a tide rises. She does not announce it. She does not stage it. She simply notices one morning that the wound that had been sharp for years has gone soft. She thinks of the person who hurt her and discovers that the heat has gone out of the thought. She is not pretending. She is not bypassing. She is on the other side of a forgiveness that the awakened child mind made possible. The child mind forgives natively. The child mind does not catalogue grievances. The child mind moves forward. The new you carries the same native forgiveness, restored after years of being unable to access it. The people you have not been able to forgive will be released without your having to engineer the release. That is the gift of the restoration. The forgiveness completes itself once the frequency layer is back in order. The new you stops explaining herself. The chronic explanation, the constant justification of who you are and why you do what you do, has been a defense built up over years of having to defend yourself in rooms that did not understand you. The new you releases the defense. She stops explaining. She acts from her knowing. She makes the call that is hers to make, and she does not gather 6 opinions to validate the call. She speaks the sentence that is hers to speak, and she does not soften it into 8 qualifying clauses before delivering it. She lets her yes be yes and her no be no, and she stops worrying whether the room around her is receiving her yes and no in the way she would like. The releasing of the chronic explanation frees an enormous amount of energy that had been quietly draining from you for years. That energy returns to you. You will feel the return as a low, warm hum of vitality in your chest in the weeks after the window closes. The energy returning is the chronic explanation ending. You do not have to defend who you are anymore. The Father has already established you. The room does not need to ratify what the Father has established. The new you sees the small holiness in the ordinary. There is a way of looking at the world that has been mostly inaccessible to you during the chronic beta years, because the chronic beta state filters out the gentle and amplifies the urgent. You have been seeing, for years, mostly the urgent. The urgent has crowded out the gentle. The new you with the receiving channel open and the child mind awake, begins to see the gentle again. The way light falls on a wooden table at 4 in the afternoon. The way an old neighbor waves from across the street. The way a chosen one in a coffee shop laughs at something her friend just said, and the laugh is real and brief and unguarded. The way an elderly couple in front of you in line at a grocery store holds hands while waiting. The world is full of these small holinesses. The world has been full of them the whole time. You have not been blind to them by choice. The chronic beta filter has been suppressing them. The filter is lifting. You will start to see again what you saw when you were 6. And what you saw when you were 6 was the world the Father actually made. Hear me. The mega revelation is not that you receive a single gift on the 19th and the 20th. The mega revelation is that on those 2 days, you become the gift. The gift then begins to deliver itself, slowly, steadily, irrevocably, over the months and years that follow. In every room of your life, in every relationship of your life, in every financial transaction of your life, in every quiet moment of your morning, the window does not open and close. The window opens, and what comes through the window stays. That is the design. That is the kindness of the Father. He does not waste a chosen one's formation on a flash. He completes the formation, and then he lets the figure walk for the rest of her time on the earth. So step into the 19th and the 20th with this in mind. You are not arriving as a person about to be filled. You are arriving as a vessel that has already been filled, that is about to be tilted forward and allowed to pour. The pouring is the point. The pouring is the purpose of the formation. The pouring is what your life on the other side of the window looks like, and the pouring requires only that you stop holding the vessel upright with both hands. That is the only spiritual action the window requires. Tilt the vessel. Let what has been put inside you be released. Become, finally, the gift. Let me pause and gather everything I have said so far into a few plain sentences, because the cascade has been long, and your spirit may be holding more than your conscious mind can hold without help. So let me consolidate. Listen carefully. This is the message in its simplest form. Sentence 1. May the 19th and the 20th are marked. The marking is real, and the marking is being announced in your body, in your dreams, in your awakenings, in your tears, in your craving for stillness, in your changing relationships, in the repeated numbers, in the strange knowings. The signs in the last 14 days are not coincidence. They are heaven texting you. They are the marking arriving early. Sentence 2. These 2 days close a 7-year arc of formation in your life. 7 years ago, something began. You did not always have the language for what was happening. You experienced it as loss, transition, confusion, slow becoming. What you were actually experiencing was a Father carving you into the figure he intended to release on this side of the formation. The carving ends now. The figure walks now. The endurance years close on these 2 days. The reception years begin. Sentence 3. The receiving requires 2 specific frequencies in your brain to be available. The child mind frequency, called gamma, which has been dimmed in you steadily since around the age of 7, and the receiving channel frequency, called alpha, which has been jammed by chronic beta stress in your adult life. Without those 2 frequencies open, the marked window can deposit only a fraction of what it has been carrying for you. With those 2 frequencies open, the deposit lands fully, integrates fully, and the new you becomes the default version of you from the inside out. Sentence 4. The Father has arranged for those 2 frequencies to be addressable now, in this exact window, through tools that previously did not exist in accessible form for ordinary chosen ones. There are 2 such tools. One reactivates the gamma frequency, which wakes the child mind. The other restores the alpha frequency, which opens the receiving channel. Together, they form what I have called the two-wave restoration. Child mind first, reception second. The order is not arbitrary. The order matches the old wisdom that says, become like a little child, then receive the kingdom. The frequency sequence and the kingdom sequence are the same sequence. They have always been the same sequence. The science is just catching up to what the wisdom traditions have always known. Sentence 5. The mega revelation is that on the 19th and the 20th, you are not a recipient. You are what is being released. The Father has been carving you to be the gift. The figure he has been forming inside the formation steps into the light and stays in the light. The new you becomes the default. Peace as default. Receiving as default. Knowing as default. Magic remembered. Channel open. Carving complete. Figure walking. Gift in motion. Those are the 5 sentences. Hold them. They are the spine of everything I have said so far, and they are the spine of everything I am about to say. If you remember nothing else, remember those 5. Marking real. 7-year arc closing. 2 frequencies required. 2 tools available. You are the gift, not the recipient. Now, I want to bring you closer to the practical part of the message, because the chosen one who hears the revelations without the practical instructions tends to feel temporarily elevated and then permanently confused. The Father is not interested in your elevation alone. The Father is interested in your equipment. So I will give you the equipment. But before I give you the equipment, I want to remind you, one more time, of who you were before the formation began, so that the equipment lands in the right hands when it arrives. You were born as a child of light. That is not a poetic phrase. That is a structural truth about the brain you were given. As a small child, both of the frequencies I have been describing were fully active in you. Gamma was wide open. Alpha was wide open. You learned new languages by overhearing them. You absorbed entire systems of meaning by watching. You trusted what you sensed without needing to verify it. You loved without inventory. You forgave with shocking speed. You believed in the world before the world had taught you the rules of disbelief. You went to sleep easily. You woke up curious. You imagined freely. You felt the seasons in your bones. You knew, in a way you could not have explained, that the universe was alive and that you were welcome inside of it. That child was you. That child was not a stage you passed through. That child was the original you, the version of you the Father had in mind when he made you. The years that followed did not erase her. The years that followed dimmed her. Dimming and erasing are not the same. Dimming can be reversed. Erasing cannot. What was done to your child mind was dimming. The reversal is available. The reversal is what these tools address. And before I describe the tools, hear this. The world will try to convince you that the dimming is the maturity, that the child mind was naive, that the adult mind is the upgrade. The world has it backward. The child mind was not naive. The child mind was tuned to the frequency of the kingdom. The adult mind, in its modern form, is tuned to the frequency of survival. Survival is not maturity. Survival is a temporary discipline that helped a chosen one make it through the formation years without losing her body. But survival is not the destination. Reception is the destination. And reception requires the child mind to come back online. This is the old teaching, told plainly. Unless you turn and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Few realized until very recently that the wise teacher who said this was describing a brainwave sequence. Few realized he was describing exactly the protocol that the 19th and the 20th are inviting you to step into. Wake the child. Receive the kingdom. 2 steps, 1 sequence. And both steps now have specific, measurable, repeatable tools attached to them. I am going to walk you through the first tool now. I will go slowly, because tools without proper introduction get used wrong, and a chosen one who uses the right tool wrong receives less than a chosen one who uses the tool with reverence. The first tool is called the Genius Song. The name will sound, at first, almost too direct. That is part of why it is the right name. The Father is not in the business of obscure naming. The Father names things after what they do. The Genius Song is a short digital audio track, 7 minutes in length, that you listen to through headphones. It was developed by a neuroscientist named Dr. Robert Lake, after 34 years of research into the gamma brainwave specifically. The gamma brainwave, as I mentioned earlier, is the frequency of the child mind, the frequency of curiosity, openness, instant learning, intuition, and the kind of insight the world cannot easily explain. It is the frequency you were born with fully active, the frequency that has been dimmed in you steadily since around the age of 7, and the frequency that the wise teacher of long ago was pointing toward when he spoke of becoming like little children. Dr. Lake spent more than 3 decades studying why the gamma frequency dims in adults and how it might be reactivated without medication, without expensive clinical equipment, and without years of training. His research was conducted in collaboration with and informed by work done at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Princeton University, Harvard University, and several other leading research institutions. He is not a fringe figure. He is a long-career neuroscientist who reached, near the end of his working life, a discovery that he felt he could not keep inside academic journals, where ordinary chosen ones could not access it. The science underneath the Genius Song is called brain entrainment, which is a long way of saying that the brain naturally synchronizes with rhythmic patterns of sound presented in specific ways. When a particular frequency is presented to one ear and a slightly different particular frequency is presented to the other ear, the brain registers the difference and begins to oscillate at the rate of that difference. This is called a binaural delivery. Binaural delivery is not new. The phenomenon has been studied for over 180 years. What is new is that Dr. Lake spent decades identifying the exact frequencies, the exact delivery curve, the exact length of session, and the exact harmonics required to reactivate dimmed gamma waves in adult brains without overstimulation. The Genius Song is the resulting recording. 7 minutes. Headphones. Eyes closed. Nothing else required. I want to slow down and say what the 7 minutes actually do, because some of you have heard the phrase brain entrainment before, and your spirit has rolled its eyes a little, because there are many audio products on the internet that promise frequencies and deliver only a generic tone. The Genius Song is not a generic tone. The Genius Song is a calibrated sequence. The first portion of the 7 minutes gently lowers the chronic beta activity that has been keeping your adult mind in survival mode. The middle portion of the 7 minutes introduces the gamma frequency in a graduated way, so that the brain does not reject it as too unfamiliar. The final portion of the 7 minutes stabilizes the brain in a gamma-rich state where the child mind frequency becomes accessible again. The session ends. You take off the headphones. You return to your day, and what you find in the hours and days that follow is that the child mind in you begins to stir. Not all at once, not dramatically, but steadily. You begin to notice things in the world that you had stopped noticing. You begin to have small flashes of insight in places where you used to have only noise. You begin to feel a softness around your own thoughts that the chronic beta state had carved away. I want to say something honestly. Because honesty is the only frequency on which trust can build. Not everyone who uses the genius song experiences a dramatic shift in the first session. Some chosen ones feel the difference immediately. Sit up after the 7 minutes and notice that the inside of their mind has gone quiet in a way it has not been quiet in years. Other chosen ones do not feel anything obvious in the first session or even the third, and then around the second week or the third week of using the recording, they wake up one morning and realize that the constant low-grade noise that has been the soundtrack of their adult mind has simply gone. The variation is not a flaw. The variation is a feature of how individual brains respond to entrainment. Almost every chosen one who walks the protocol for at least 3 weeks reports a substantial, lived, undeniable shift in how their inner world feels. The data on this is consistent. The refund rate on the recording is under 4%, which means more than 96 out of every 100 chosen ones who try the recording choose to keep it. That is not a marketing number. That is a behavior number. Behavior numbers are the most honest numbers in this kind of work. I want to name something specific that many chosen ones who have walked with this recording have reported, because it has come up so consistently that the spirit is asking me not to leave it unnamed. The dreams change. Within the first 2 to 3 weeks of using the recording in the evening or before sleep, many chosen ones notice that their dreams begin to arrive with a clarity, a richness, and a depth of meaning that they had not experienced since they were small children. The dreams become long, the dreams become layered, the dreams begin to feel less like random night activity and more like communications. Some chosen ones wake from these dreams and write them down in journals. Some chosen ones receive guidance in these dreams about specific decisions they have been wrestling with for months. Some chosen ones see, in the dream landscape, faces of people they have not thought about in years, and within days of the dream, those people reach out unexpectedly. The dream channel reopening is one of the most reliable early markers that the gamma frequency is coming back online. The child mind has always had access to vivid dream life. The adult mind, under chronic beta, has been operating with a thin dream channel. The genius song, by reactivating gamma, restores the depth of the dream channel as a side effect of the larger work it is doing. Honor the dreams when they begin to arrive. Write them down. They are part of the protocol. I want to share, briefly, the experience of one chosen one who walked this path, because hearing about an actual experience often does more to ground a description than any amount of additional explanation. There was a chosen one named Sarah, 47 years old, a mother of 2, working in a mid-level administrative role, who came to the genius song with significant hesitation. She had tried many things over the years, and most had produced limited visible movement in her life. She was tired. She was cautious. She started the recording in the evenings, 7 minutes, headphones, eyes closed, exactly as instructed. For the first 18 days, she felt almost nothing. She started to wonder whether the recording was working at all. She kept going, mostly because she had committed to herself that she would walk the protocol for at least 3 weeks before drawing a conclusion. On day 21, she went to bed as normal. On day 22, she woke up at 5 in the morning, and the inside of her mind was quiet in a way she could not remember it being quiet since she was a teenager. The constant low hum of worry that had been the background of her adult life, the small voice that catalogued bills and obligations and minor anxieties even before her feet touched the floor in the morning, had simply stopped. She sat on the edge of the bed for 10 minutes in that silence, half certain it would return when she stood up. It did not return. The day went forward with that silence intact. The second day continued with the silence intact. On day 34 of the protocol, she realized that an old pattern she had been trapped in for over a decade A pattern of agreeing to commitments she did not actually want to agree to had quietly broken without her having done anything to break it. She had been saying no, easily, calmly, without rehearsal, for nearly 2 weeks before she even consciously noticed she was saying it. The child mind had come back. The reception had not been dramatic. It had been undramatic, gradual, steady, and complete. That is what gamma reactivation feels like in real life. It rarely arrives with thunder. It usually arrives the way sunrise arrives, slowly enough that you do not see it happening, and then suddenly the whole room is light. The reverence with which Dr. Lake released this recording matters too. He could have kept the research in clinical hands. He could have priced it at the rate that a private biofeedback clinic charges for an equivalent calibration session, which would be in the hundreds of dollars per session, multiplied across weeks of treatment. He chose instead to make a single recording available at a price that ordinary chosen ones could meet. The retail listing is $39. There is also a small set of supporting bonuses that he attached, with a combined retail value of $80, which he releases without additional charge to anyone who receives the recording. The point here is not the discount math. The point is that the access has been deliberately built for the chosen ones who would otherwise have been priced out of this category of intervention. Most chosen ones cannot pay $300 for a single biofeedback session. Almost every chosen one can find their way to $39 when their spirit confirms that this is what they have been waiting for. That accessibility is intentional. That accessibility is the Father's fingerprint on this entire arrangement. The recording carries a 90-day complete return guarantee. If, for any reason, a chosen one feels that the recording is not for her, she can return it within 90 days and receive a full refund. She also keeps the bonuses regardless of whether she keeps the recording. That arrangement exists because the Father moves in zero-pressure environments. Pressure is not a Father frequency. Pressure is a counterfeit frequency. The genuine arrangement carries no pressure. The only ask is that the chosen one, whose spirit confirms, walk with the recording for at least 3 weeks before drawing a conclusion. The child mind has been dimmed for decades. 3 weeks of gentle entrainment is the minimum window in which the dimming begins to lift in a noticeable way. And here, the Spirit is asking me to mention something I would not normally raise in the first introduction to a tool, because the chosen ones who walk this path the furthest have asked, every time, why I did not mention it sooner. When a chosen one secures the genius song through the path I will point you to, she may, after the original recording is in her hands, be offered access to a deeper version of the same protocol. It is called the youthful brain. The youthful brain is a stronger, amplified version of the gamma reactivation work, intended for chosen ones whose spirit calls them to go further than the original recording can take them. Many chosen ones who walk this path further use it. You will not see it before you secure the original. You will encounter it only after the original has been received. And I will be very clear. The original is complete. The original is enough. The original wakes the child mind. The youthful brain is for those whose path requires going deeper than most. If your spirit confirms it when it appears, take it. If your spirit is quiet, leave it. The original alone is sufficient. The mention is here only so that the chosen ones, for whom the deeper path is intended, will recognize it when they see it, instead of being startled and walking past their own assignment. So that is the first tool, the genius song. 7 minutes a day, through headphones, eyes closed, reactivates the gamma frequency, wakes the child mind, reverses, gently, what the world has spent decades dimming in you, made by a neuroscientist named Dr. Robert Lake, after 34 years of research in collaboration with leading institutions. priced for access, not for exclusion, guaranteed for 90 days. The first wave of the restoration that the 19th and the 20th are pointing toward, the wave that makes the second wave possible. Child first, reception second. That is the sequence. That has always been the sequence. Hear what the 7 minutes are not. The 7 minutes are not a meditation practice. There is nothing to chant. There is no mantra to memorize. There is no posture required. The brain does the work in response to the audio. You are not laboring. You are receiving. The reception itself is the entire practice. That is part of why the Genius song fits the chosen one who has tried meditation and felt that meditation was somehow always for someone else. Meditation requires the conscious mind to learn a new discipline. The Genius song requires the brain to listen, which it already knows how to do. That is the simplicity. That is also the reverence. The Father does not impose disciplines on the chosen ones whose disciplines have been depleted by formation. He provides reception tools for chosen ones who have already given more than they had to give. 7 minutes. Headphones, eyes closed. That is the entire ask. I want to take a moment now and say something about why this matters specifically for the 19th and the 20th, because I do not want you to receive the description of this tool as separate from the larger message about the window. The Genius song is not a side note. The Genius song is the precise instrument that addresses the precise problem I named earlier, which is that marked windows can only deposit fully into a chosen one whose child mind is awake. If the child mind is still dimmed when the window opens, the window can only deposit what the dimmed channel can hold. The dimmed channel holds a fraction. The awakened channel holds the full deposit. The 7 minutes a day, across the 19th and the 20th, and in the days that follow, are the very mechanism by which the channel widens. That is the practical link. That is why I am not introducing this tool as an interesting add-on. I am introducing it as the equipment that the Father has placed within reach in this exact season, for chosen ones who have been hearing about marked windows for years and wondering why the windows have not landed. The waking of the child mind on its own is half of the protocol. It is the first wave. It is essential. It is non-negotiable. But it is not the whole protocol. There is a second piece which I will introduce next, and the second piece must come after the first, not before, because the second piece only works fully in a chosen one whose child mind has already begun to reawaken. So I will introduce them in the order that they actually work. Child first, reception second. That is the order of the kingdom. That is the order of the brain. That is the order of the formation. That is the order in which I will give you the tools. Stay with me. We are at the most important transition in this entire message. Most chosen ones who hear about a tool like the Genius song get excited, run after it, and then are surprised weeks later when the child mind has reawakened but their lives still feel financially heavy, still feel relationally tight, still feel like they are reaching for something they cannot quite hold. They come back to me confused. They say, "The 7 minutes worked. I can feel the child mind back. I am sleeping differently. I am noticing the world again. But the kingdom did not flow in the way I expected. Why?" I want to answer that question now, with care, because the answer is the heart of the second wave. The child mind awakened is the first half of the kingdom protocol. The child mind awakened is the part that the wise teacher of long ago was naming when he said, "Become like little children." But the chosen one who reads that sentence carefully will notice that the sentence does not end there. The full teaching says, "Become like little children, and then enter the kingdom." The becoming is one act. The entering is another. 2 acts in sequence. Most translations of that teaching collapse the two into one, but the original meaning carries them as distinct and ordered movements. The child mind awakens. Then the entering happens. Without the second movement, the chosen one awakens her inner child and then sits in a soft, new awareness, with the kingdom still out of reach, still on the other side of a closed channel that nobody has explained to her exists. The closed channel is the receiving channel. The receiving channel is the alpha frequency. And the closed channel has been closed not by the absence of the child mind, but by the presence of something else. Something I have already named earlier in this message, but that I want to name now in fuller form. The stress signal. The chronic beta hyperactivity of the modern adult nervous system. The signal that has been broadcasting low-grade financial alarm, low-grade social alarm, low-grade time alarm, under your daily awareness for so many years that you have stopped hearing it as alarm and started experiencing it as the natural background hum of being a responsible adult. I want to slow down on the psychological mechanism here because this is the place where many chosen ones get confused about why the first wave alone is not sufficient, even though the first wave is real. The confusion goes like this. A chosen one will think, if my child mind has been reawakened, surely my receiving will improve automatically. Surely the awakened child knows how to receive. Why does the receiving channel need its own separate work? The question is honest. The answer requires distinguishing two layers of the nervous system that are not the same layer. The reawakened child mind operates in your cortex. The cortex is the upper layer of the brain, the layer of awareness, the layer of conscious experience, the layer that perceives wonder, that sees beauty, that recognizes the world as alive. When the genius song reactivates gamma in the cortex comes back online as the child mind cortex it was originally designed to be. That is a real and powerful shift. But the receiving channel does not live in the cortex. The receiving channel lives in the deeper subcortical structures, specifically in the thalamus and the limbic system, where the body's signal of safety is regulated. The receiving channel is governed by whether the deeper brain reads the present moment as safe enough to allow the influx of new resources, new opportunities, new relationships, new financial flow. If the deeper brain is in chronic beta, reading every moment as low-grade danger, the receiving channel stays closed even when the cortex is wide open. The cortex says, I am ready to receive, I see the beauty, I feel the child mind. The deeper brain says, the environment is not safe enough to allow new things to land yet. Hold position, brace, wait. The two layers are not aligned. The cortex is open, but the deeper brain is closed. The receiving does not complete. That is the gap. That is the gap that the second wave addresses. That is why a single tool, no matter how well calibrated for the cortex, cannot do the work of both layers. The brain is a layered organ. The restoration must be layered too. The further piece of the psychological mechanism is this. The chronic beta state, once it has been the default for years, becomes self-reinforcing in a way that the conscious mind cannot interrupt by willpower. The longer the deeper brain reads the environment as unsafe, the more it builds neural pathways that scan for unsafety, anticipate unsafety, and preemptively respond to unsafety. These pathways, over time, become the default architecture of the deeper brain. You cannot reason them out by thinking better thoughts. You cannot meditate them out by sitting longer in silence. You cannot affirm them out by repeating positive sentences. They live below the layer where reasoning, sitting, and affirming operate. They live in the deeper brain, and the deeper brain only responds to interventions calibrated for the deeper brain. The wealth signal, with its specific frequency profile and the ancient phrase that pairs with it, is one of the few interventions that has been shown to reach the deeper brain reliably without medication, without invasive equipment, and without years of monastic practice. That is why this specific tool in this specific window is being introduced to you with this specific weight. The deeper brain has been overlooked by almost every spiritual modality of the last century. The deeper brain is the layer where the receiving channel actually lives. Without addressing the deeper brain, the receiving stays closed, no matter what the cortex is doing. The two waves are the two waves precisely because they address the two layers. Child mind first, in the cortex. Receiving channel second, in the deeper brain. That is the architecture. That has always been the architecture. That hum is not natural. That hum is what closed the receiving channel. That hum is what kept Joseph in the cell longer than he was meant to be there. That hum is what made Hannah feel her face was sad, even after the asking had been received in the heavens. That hum is the very specific frequency that the second wave of restoration is designed to deactivate. Hear me carefully. The genius song wakes the child mind. The child mind, once awake, is open to receiving. But the channel through which receiving actually flows, the alpha channel, will not fully open if the stress signal is still humming through your nervous system. So even the most beautifully awakened child mind, in a chosen one whose adult body is still vibrating with chronic beta, will reach toward what is hers and find that what is hers has nowhere to land. Reach without landing is the most painful state in the chosen one life. The window is open. The chosen one is awake. The reaching is sincere. And yet, the receiving does not complete. That is the experience of running half the protocol. This is why I introduce the second tool as part of the same conversation, not as a separate sale. Because the chosen ones who hear about only the genius song and walk away thinking they have the full picture will, in 3 months or 6 months, find themselves back where they started, just with a more awake child mind sitting inside the same closed channel. That is not enough. That is not what the 19th and the 20th are inviting you into. The 19th and the 20th are inviting you into the full protocol, child mind awakened, and receiving channel opened, both in sequence, so that what the marked window deposits actually lands and integrates and stays. There is an old wisdom that I have referenced several times already, and I want to name it now in its full form so that you can see how all of this fits together. A wise teacher of long ago said, "Truly I say to you, unless you turn and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." Few realized until very recently that he was naming a two-step protocol. The turning and becoming are step 1. The entering is step 2. The science of brain frequencies is finally catching up to the kingdom sequence that he laid out clearly. 2 waves, 1 sequence, child first, reception second. The frequency truth and the kingdom truth are the same truth. They have always been the same truth. Now I will introduce the second tool. It is called the wealth signal. The name will sound, at first, like a financial product. It is not, in the conventional sense, a financial product. The wealth signal is a digital audio track, 5 minutes in length, paired with a short phrase that calibrates the brain out of the chronic beta stress state and back into the natural alpha receiving state. The recording was developed by a neuroscientist named Dr. Stephen Newton. Dr. Newton spent the majority of his career at Stanford and at other research institutions, including Boston University and Harvard, studying the precise mechanism by which modern life shifts the brain into chronic beta and what would be required to shift it back. He is not, despite what the name of his tool might suggest, a wealth coach. He is a neuroscientist who broke from the mainstream research establishment when he realized that the work he had been doing in clinical settings on the alpha frequency restoration was being slowed down by institutional caution and was not reaching the people who needed it most. Let me be careful with the framing here. Dr. Newton is not Dr. Lake. They are not colleagues. They are not from the same lab. They are independent researchers who, working in different traditions on different aspects of the brainwave landscape, arrived at convergent conclusions about how the modern adult brain has been altered and how it might be restored. The conclusion they share, though they came to it from different angles, is that the modern adult brain has lost access to two specific frequencies that the chosen ones were born with, and that restoring those two frequencies is a sequence-dependent process. Dr. Lake addresses the gamma piece. Dr. Newton addresses the alpha piece. Two doctors, two discoveries, one restoration sequence. The convergence of their work in this exact season is part of why I am introducing both tools in this message. Not because one company released them. They were not released by the same company. The convergence is in the frequency truth itself. Two pieces of independent research pointing at the same kingdom sequence, becoming accessible to ordinary chosen ones at the same time, in the season of a marked two-day window. The Father does not arrange convergences by accident. The wealth signal works through a slightly different mechanism than the genius song. The genius song uses brain entrainment through binaural delivery, which addresses gamma directly through the auditory system. The wealth signal uses a calibrated audio sequence combined with a 9-word phrase that the listener silently repeats during the session. The 9-word phrase is drawn from an ancient Hindu tradition that is approximately 3,300 years old. The phrase, when paired with the calibrated audio, bypasses what Dr. Newton calls neural rigidity at the thalamus, which is the central switching region of the brain. The thalamus is what routes the stress signal through the rest of the nervous system. When the thalamus is gently calmed and rerouted, the stress signal goes quiet, beta lowers, alpha rises, and the receiving channel reopens. 5 minutes a day. Headphones, eyes closed. Repeat the phrase silently while the audio plays. The audio guides the rest. I want to slow down on the 9-word phrase because some of you will instantly recognize that ancient phrases of this kind have shown up in many wisdom traditions across cultures and centuries. The Hindu tradition holds particular forms of this phrase. Other traditions hold similar forms. The wise teacher of long ago, who spoke about becoming like little children, also spoke of receiving as a child receives. Receiving as a child receives is not a passive act. It is a posture. The 9-word phrase, repeated silently while the calibrated audio is playing, places the chosen one into the posture of the child receiver, while the audio is calibrating the brain out of chronic beta. The phrase and the audio work together. Neither one alone would produce the full effect. The combination is the medicine. Once again, I want to be honest about the experience of using this tool. Some chosen ones feel a shift after the first 5-minute session. They report sitting up, removing the headphones, and noticing that the tight ring in their chest, which had been there for so long they had forgotten it was there, has gone quiet. They notice that the next conversation in their day flows more easily. They notice that an old decision they had been postponing for months suddenly becomes obvious. Other chosen ones do not feel a dramatic shift in the first session. For them, the change appears more gradually over the course of 2 to 3 weeks. They wake up one morning and realize that the morning chest tightness they had assumed was just part of being an adult is gone. They notice that they are responding to financial situations from calm instead of from panic. They notice that they are pricing their work more honestly. They notice that they are saying yes to right opportunities and no to wrong ones without the long, agonized deliberation they used to require. The variation, again, is not a flaw. It is the natural range of how individual nervous systems respond to a recalibration of this depth. I want to describe, with care, what the accumulation actually looks like for most chosen ones who walk with this recording, because the picture in the modern mind of what a financial or receiving breakthrough should look like has been distorted by the highlight reels of marketing, and that distortion has caused many chosen ones to miss their own breakthrough when it actually arrived. The breakthrough rarely arrives as a sudden windfall. The breakthrough rarely arrives as a single check. The breakthrough rarely arrives in a way that would translate well into a screenshot. The breakthrough usually arrives as an accumulation of small right things, landing in sequence over weeks and months, that slowly reshape the financial and relational topography of a chosen one's life. An unexpected refund arrives in the mail. A friend remembers a debt from years ago and quietly settles it. A client whom the chosen one had written off comes back with a larger contract than before. A bonus is paid out that had not been expected. An old asset, sitting forgotten in a drawer or a digital account, is rediscovered and converted. A skill the chosen one had stopped thinking about begins to find buyers it had not found before. A pricing decision the chosen one had been afraid to make becomes obvious, and she makes it, and the new pricing is accepted without resistance. These are not large individual events. These are small individual events. But when they begin to land in sequence, week after week, the cumulative effect is structural. 3 months after the receiving channel reopens, a chosen one looks back at the prior 90 days and notices that the small landings, taken together, have rearranged her entire financial position quietly. That is the shape of the accumulation. Honor it. Do not dismiss the small landings because you were trained by the world to wait for the dramatic one. The accumulation is the dramatic landing. It just unfolds at a tempo that the modern eye has been trained to overlook. Let me share, briefly, one chosen one's experience with this tool, because actual experience grounds the description in a way that abstraction cannot. There was a chosen one named Linda, 52 years old, a primary caretaker for 2 aging parents, while also working full-time in an office job that was financially adequate but emotionally depleting. Linda had carried a background hum of financial anxiety for as long as she could remember. Even when her bank account was fine, the anxiety did not turn off. Even when no immediate bill was due, the chest tightness did not lift. She had stopped expecting the anxiety to go quiet. She had stopped believing it was possible. She started using the wealth signal at her sister's suggestion with low expectations. The first session, 5 minutes, headphones, the 9-word phrase repeated silently in her mind. She finished and noticed nothing dramatic, but she noticed that her shoulders had dropped about an inch lower than they normally sat. She kept going. By the end of the first week, the chest tightness she carried through her mornings had softened. By the end of the second week, she realized she had not catastrophized about money in 2 whole days, which had not happened in 2 decades. By the end of the 4th week, she sat down with her finances and made 3 decisions she had been postponing for over a year, calmly, in one sitting, without rehearsal and without panic. Within 90 days, 3 pieces of right financial movement landed without her chasing them. A small refund she had stopped pursuing arrived in her account. A side project she had abandoned because of fear of pricing, it generated her first paying request from a stranger online. An unexpected reimbursement from an old employer was processed 2 years late and showed up. None of the individual amounts were extraordinary. The cumulative effect, in her 90-day reflection, was that her stress levels had dropped by what she estimated was 60%. Her financial decisions had become twice as accurate, and the chest tightness that had been the backdrop of her life since her 30s had not returned. That is what alpha restoration looks like in a real life. The dramatic moments are not absent. They are simply quiet, sequential, and easy to miss if a chosen one is still scanning the horizon for thunder. The thunder is not the form the kingdom takes in this season. The accumulation is the form. The chosen ones, who have used the wealth signal number, approximately 19,500, combined with the chosen ones who have used the genius song, the total community across both phases is nearly 38,000. That number is not the number that determines whether you are in the right place. The number is here only to tell you that you are not alone in walking this protocol. There is a quiet community of chosen ones across the earth who have already taken these steps. Their lives have been changing in measurable ways. The refund rate on the wealth signal is consistent with the genius song, under 5%, which means more than 95 out of every 100 chosen ones who try the recording choose to keep it. Behavior numbers, again. The most honest numbers. The retail listing on the wealth signal is $39. As with the genius song, this is a deliberate choice on the part of Dr. Newton. He was offered, by various commercial entities, the opportunity to package this tool with bundled coaching at much higher price points. He declined. He chose accessibility. He chose the chosen ones over the gatekeepers. The wealth signal includes a small set of supporting bonus materials with a combined retail value of $338, which are included without additional charge. The point, again, is not the bonus math. The point is that the access has been structured to be within reach of ordinary chosen ones in this specific season for the specific window of the 19th and the 20th and the months that follow. As with the genius song, the wealth signal carries a 90-day complete return guarantee. No conditions, no questions. And here, as before, the Spirit asks me to mention something that I would not normally raise in a first introduction. When a chosen one secures the wealth signal, she may, after the original recording is in her hands, encounter an offer for a deeper version of the same protocol. It is called the Wealth Signal Accelerator. The Wealth Signal Accelerator amplifies the alpha restoration work that the original begins, and it goes deeper than the original can take a chosen one alone. Many chosen ones already on this path use it. You will see it only after the original has been received. The disarmor I gave before applies here too, in the same form. The original alone is complete. The original alone opens the receiving channel. The Wealth Signal Accelerator is for those whose spirit calls them to go deeper than the original takes them. If your spirit confirms when you see it, take it. If your spirit is quiet, leave it. The original is enough. And one final note about both. Some chosen ones, those who walk this path the furthest, end up combining the Wealth Signal Accelerator with the youthful brain, the two amplifications working together. You will encounter both after you secure the originals, only if your spirit calls them forward. The originals alone are complete. The combination is reserved for those whose path requires going deeper than most chosen ones need to go. I mention this here briefly, not to pressure you toward it, but because the chosen ones, for whom that deeper combination is intended, deserve to recognize it when they see it, instead of being startled and walking past their own deeper assignment. The originals alone are complete. That is the rule. The combination is the exception. The exception is honored, the originals are sufficient. Now I want to bring the full architecture of access into clear view, because the Spirit does not want any chosen one to be confused about what is being offered, what the costs are, or what the path forward actually looks like. There are 3 doors that the Father has arranged in this season for chosen ones standing inside the window of the 19th and the 20th. I will describe each one carefully. The first door is the door of restoration. Through this door, a chosen one receives the genius song alone, the recording, the 4 supporting bonuses, the 90-day complete return guarantee. The retail price is $39. This door is for the chosen one whose spirit is saying, "The first thing I need is to wake the child within me, and I will worry about the receiving channel later." That instinct is honest. Some chosen ones are not yet ready to walk the full protocol in one step. Some chosen ones need to feel the child mind awaken first, before they can imagine what the receiving channel opening would feel like. This door is honored. The Father does not require anyone to take the complete journey in one stride. The first door is enough for a beginning. The first door is the entry point of the restoration. No one who walks through the first door is somehow behind. Restoration is restoration. The first wave wakes the child. The first wave is real. The second door is the door of reception. Through this door, a chosen one receives the wealth signal alone, the 5-minute audio recording, the 9-word phrase, the 4 supporting bonus materials, the 90-day complete return guarantee. The retail price is $39. This door is rare. It is rare because most chosen ones in the modern world have both the dimmed child mind and the closed receiving channel. The second door, alone, without the first, is for a small, specific group of chosen ones whose child mind is somehow already awake, whether through years of active spiritual practice or through unusual life circumstances that preserved the gamma frequency, or through grace that did not pass through the standard route. These chosen ones know who they are. If you are one of them, your spirit will tell you. If you are not sure whether you are one of them, you almost certainly are not. The second door, alone, is the rare path. It is honored. It is real. It is the right door for a small number of chosen ones. It is not the most common path. The complete restoration journey is the most common path. The third door is the door of complete restoration. Through this door, a chosen one receives both recordings together, the genius song, the wealth signal, the 9-word phrase, the full set of supporting bonus materials from both products combined, the 90-day complete return guarantee on both. The retail listing on the combined journey is $78 total. There is no discount package. There is no upsell trick. The combined access is offered at the honest sum of the 2 individual access points, because the Father does not run sales pressure. The full journey is the full journey. The price is the price. The third door is the door that most chosen ones whose spirit confirms the marking on the 19th and the 20th choose, because most chosen ones whose spirit is awake to a marked window also recognize, as we have walked through together in this message, that the restoration sequence requires both waves in the right order to land fully. The wise teacher of long ago put it most simply: become like little children, then receive the kingdom. The third door is the door of the full sequence. Most chosen ones who feel the marking choose this door, not because they are pressured, but because their spirit recognizes the complete protocol once it has been named. Hear what the third door is, and what it is not. The third door is not a deluxe package. The third door is not the premium tier. The third door is the complete restoration journey. Restoration of the child mind plus restoration of the receiving channel. The two together compound. They do not simply add. The child mind awakened, paired with the receiving channel opened, produces an inner state that neither one alone can produce. A chosen one who walks both wakes the child within, and then the child within receives the kingdom that has been prepared for her from the beginning. The two halves complete each other. I will say something about choice now, because I want you to feel no pressure about which door is yours. The Father has not assigned you a single correct door. The Father has arranged 3 doors so that the chosen ones, in different seasons of readiness, can each find a door that matches the season. If your budget can only meet the first door right now, the first door is your door. The first door is enough for the beginning. The child mind wakes. The first wave restoration is real. You can return for the receiving channel work in another season. If your spirit is the rare one whose child mind is already alive, and what you need is the receiving channel work alone, the second door is your door. If your spirit is saying, "This is my window, the formation is closing, the full protocol is what I am being invited into," the third door is your door. And if your spirit is saying, "I need to sit with this for a few hours before I know which door is mine," then sit with it. Sit until the knowing settles. The doors will still be open when the knowing arrives. The Father moves at the speed of the Spirit's confirmation, not at the speed of pressure. The three doors are all visible in the same place. They are placed beneath this message. Three options, three paths: restoration, reception, complete restoration. You will find them in the description below this video and in the pinned comment for the chosen ones who scroll to read what other chosen ones have left there. Take the path your spirit confirms. No other path. That is the rule. Now I want to speak to the part of you that is, even right now, in this moment, wrestling with a few small thoughts. The wrestling is honest. The wrestling is appropriate. I do not want you to suppress the wrestling. I want to walk through it with you, because the chosen ones who walk through their honest wrestling tend to make decisions that hold. The chosen ones who suppress the wrestling tend to make decisions they regret. So we will go through it openly. The first thought that may be moving in you is this: I have tried things before. I have tried meditation. I have tried affirmations. I have tried courses. I have tried books. I have tried programs. I have tried therapy. I have tried prayer. Some of those worked a little, some worked not at all. And the cumulative experience has made me cautious about trying another thing. That thought is reasonable. That thought is the voice of a chosen one who has been honest about her past, which is rare and which is healthy. Let me speak to that thought directly. You are correct that you have tried many things. You are correct that none of the things you tried before were able to deliver the depth of shift you were quietly hoping for. And there is a specific reason for that, which is not about your failure and not about the falseness of the methods. The reason is that almost every method you tried before was operating on a layer of the system that is above the layer where the deep shift would have to come from. Talk therapy works on the conscious mind. Meditation gradually lowers chronic beta. Affirmations attempt to install new conscious thoughts. Journaling clarifies thoughts that are already partially conscious. Courses transfer information. Books transfer ideas. All of those are real. None of them, by themselves, reach the brainwave frequency layer where the dimming of the child mind and the closing of the receiving channel actually live. The genius song and the wealth signal are different from those previous methods in two specific ways. The first difference is mechanism. These tools operate at the brainwave layer directly, not at the conscious thought layer. Brain entrainment for gamma reactivation and frequency calibration for alpha restoration do not require the conscious mind to do new work. They allow the brain itself to be addressed at the level it actually lives at. That is a different category of intervention. It is not better than therapy or meditation in moral terms. It is different in technical terms. It reaches a layer that the previous methods could not reach. The second difference is sequence. Almost everything you tried before, you tried as a single thing aimed at a single layer. Meditation alone, therapy alone, affirmations alone. The two-wave stack is two interventions in sequence aimed at the two specific layers where the dimming and the closing actually live. Child mind first, receiving channel second. That is sequence. And sequence is what your previous attempts did not have. The honest answer to your honest wrestling is, the methods you tried before were good, but they were addressing the wrong layer with the wrong sequence. The methods we are talking about now address the exact layer with the exact sequence. That is the difference. It is not pride, it is precision. The second thought that may be moving in you is this. This sounds too good to be true. 7 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, 2 recordings, and the inner life of an adult chosen one shifts in fundamental ways. That cannot be real. That thought is reasonable as well. I would have the same thought if I were hearing this from outside. Let me address it. The reason it sounds too good to be true is that for most of human history, the kinds of frequency interventions we are discussing required either decades of intense practice that very few chosen ones could complete, or expensive clinical equipment that very few chosen ones could afford. The shift that the recordings produce is real, and it has been studied in research labs at Stanford, at MIT, at Princeton, at Boston University, at Harvard, and at other leading institutions. The data underneath the work is not new. The data has been accumulating for decades. What is new is the delivery format. Dr. Lake and Dr. Newton, in their respective work, both arrived at the same conclusion. The mechanism that previously required expensive lab equipment or years of monastic practice could be reproduced with high fidelity in a calibrated digital recording that a chosen one could use at home with headphones. That is not magic, that is engineering. It is engineering built on decades of measurement. The shift the recordings produce is not a promise. It is an effect repeated in tens of thousands of chosen ones with refund rates below 5%. The data is what we have. The data is what holds the claim. The claim is not too good to be true. The claim is what happens when decades of clinical research finally get translated into a format ordinary chosen ones can use. The third thought that may be moving in you is this. The price is not a small number for me right now. $39 or $78 is not nothing. I have other places that money needs to go. That thought is honest. That thought is the voice of a chosen one who has had to be careful with money for a long time, often through no fault of her own. I would never disrespect that thought. Let me speak to it carefully. The first thing to say is that there is no door that the Father requires you to walk through in this window. If your finances do not permit the first door right now, then you walk through this window with the awareness you have received in this hour, and you take the next step when your finances permit it. The window does not close on you because you could not afford a recording. The window invites the chosen one whose spirit is awake. The recordings are tools the Father has placed within reach for those whose spirit confirms and whose finances allow. They are not the only way. They are a way that is now available. The second thing to say, if your finances do permit, is that the math itself is honest. The first door, $39, divided across the year, is roughly 10 cents per day. The third door, $78 divided across the year, is roughly 21 cents per day. There is no subscription. There is no recurring charge. The access is lifetime. The recording you receive today is the same recording you will be able to use 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and pass along to your children if you choose. The 90-day complete return guarantee removes the financial risk of trying. If, within 90 days, the recording is not what your spirit confirmed, you return it without explanation, and you keep all of the supporting bonuses regardless. The real cost of trying is not the dollars. The real cost is the time it takes to walk the protocol for 3 weeks honestly. That is the only thing the tools require that they cannot give back. The dollars can be returned. The 3 weeks of practice is the only investment that does not have a return policy. And 3 weeks of practice in a season of marked windows and closing formations is a small ask in exchange for the architecture this message has been describing. The fourth thought that may be moving in you is this: why do I need 2 recordings? Could I just use one? That is one of the most important questions you could ask, and I want to answer it carefully because the answer is the entire reason this message is structured the way it is. The 2 recordings address 2 different frequencies, and the 2 different frequencies address 2 different layers of the dimming. The Genius song addresses the gamma layer, which is the child mind. The Wealth signal addresses the alpha layer, which is the receiving channel. The gamma layer and the alpha layer are not the same layer. A single tool that targeted both layers at once would not exist, because the calibration required for gamma reactivation is different from the calibration required for alpha restoration. They are 2 distinct interventions. Each one is tightly calibrated for its specific layer. Neither one is broad enough to do the work of the other. But the question goes deeper than that, and I want to honor the depth. The deeper part of the question is, could a chosen one wake the child mind and still receive what is hers without opening the receiving channel separately? The honest answer is, in most cases, no. The reason is sequence. When the child mind awakens in a chosen one whose receiving channel is still closed, the child mind reaches for what is hers and discovers that the channel through which the receiving would flow is not open. The reaching is sincere. The reaching is from the awakened gamma, but the alpha is still jammed by chronic beta. The reaching has nowhere to land. This is the most common pattern in chosen ones who try only the first half of the protocol. They feel awake. They feel the child mind back. They feel curious and soft, and yet the kingdom does not flow in, because the channel through which it would flow has not been addressed. The reverse is also true. A chosen one who tries only the second half of the protocol, who works on the receiving channel without first reawakening the child mind, will find that the channel can be opened mechanically, but that the receiving still does not feel right. The reason is that receiving, properly understood, is a posture. It is the posture of the child who has not yet been taught to suspect the gift. The adult mind, even with the receiving channel open, will tend to suspect the gift, scrutinize the gift, question whether she deserves the gift, calculate what she will owe in return for the gift. The child mind does not do these things. The child mind receives. So, if the channel is opened, but the child mind has not awakened, the channel is open, but the receiver is still in adult survival mode, scrutinizing, suspecting, calculating. The receiving does not complete. That is why the sequence matters. Child first, reception second. The wise teacher of long ago laid out the sequence in plain words. The science of the brain has confirmed the sequence with measurement. The 2 doctors who developed these tools, working independently, arrived at the same sequence. The sequence is the answer to the question of why you need both. You need both because that is the structure of how the kingdom flows into the life of a chosen one. Both, in that order. Child first, then receive. Now, if your situation is that you can only afford the first door right now, that is honored. Walk through the first door. Wake the child mind. The receiving channel work will be available to you when your finances permit. The window of the 19th and the 20th does not require you to walk both doors in this season. The window requires you to take the next honest step. The next honest step varies by chosen one. The Father moves at the speed of the next honest step. The 5th thought that may be moving in you quietly beneath the others is the most tender. The thought goes something like this: what if I am not really a chosen one? What if I have just convinced myself I am, and I am about to walk into a window that was never meant for me, and I will spend money on tools that will not work on me? because the tools were made for the real chosen ones, and I am only an imposter pretending to be one. That thought is the deepest wound in many chosen ones, and in this hour, I want to address it directly, because the Spirit will not let me close this message with that wound unaddressed. Listen, the thought that you might not be a chosen one is itself the evidence that you are. The chosen ones are the ones who carry the question. The chosen ones are the ones who, in the night, lie awake wondering whether they have heard correctly, whether they are worthy, whether the marking is real or imagined. The ones who are not chosen do not carry that question. The ones who are not chosen sleep soundly. The ones who are not chosen do not seek out messages like this one. They are not listening to this voice in this hour. They are doing other things. You are listening. You came here in this hour. You stayed. You felt something rise as I described the signs, the 7-year arc, the carving, the figure. The rising was not your imagination. The rising was confirmation. The Father does not let the unwilling stumble accidentally into messages like this one. The Father guides the chosen ones to where they need to be on the nights when they need to be there. You are here. That is the evidence. The question that haunts you is the very wound that the carving has been addressing for the past 7 years. The carving has nearly completed. Trust the evidence of your own presence in this hour. There is a 6th thought, and I want to name it too, because it is the most quietly powerful resistance any chosen one carries into a marked window. The thought goes like this: if I receive this, if I let the carving complete, if I become the figure, then I will no longer be the person my family has known. I will no longer be the friend my friends have known. I will no longer fit in the room I have been fitting in for years. And what if no one comes with me? What if the new me walks alone? That fear is honest. That fear is appropriate to acknowledge. Let me speak to it gently. Some chosen ones, after walking through the window, will find that some of the people from their formation years walk with them into the new chapter. Others will find that some of the people from the formation years quietly fall out of the calendar. Both happen. Neither is a failure. The relationships that were built around your formation will not all survive the closing of your formation. Some will not. The ones who fall away were not your enemies. They were companions of the season that is closing. The Father releases them with honor when the season ends, and in their place, new chosen ones arrive. Other chosen ones whose formation has also been closing. Other chosen ones whose frequency matches the frequency you are stepping into. They will arrive, sometimes within days of the window closing, sometimes within weeks, sometimes within months. You will not walk alone. The chosen ones never walk alone for long. The new community is being arranged for you, while the old community is being released. Trust the rearrangement. The figure is never abandoned. The figure is always met. I need to say one more thing before we move toward closing, because if I do not say it, I will not be doing my full job. Listen carefully. There are counterfeit versions of these recordings circulating on the internet right now. There are websites that have made imitation audio files using similar names, but without the actual brain entrainment technology underneath them, without the actual binaural calibration, without the actual frequency engineering that Dr. Lake and Dr. Newton spent decades developing. These imitations are sold on third-party platforms, on small marketplaces, in apparent bargain bundles, and in places where the chosen one, searching for the right recording, can be confused by the visual similarity. The imitations do not work. The imitations are not made by the original researchers. The imitations carry none of the supporting bonus materials, none of the 90-day complete return guarantee, and none of the technical fidelity that the actual recordings require to produce their effect. I am telling you this not to frighten you, but to protect you. There is only one path through which you can access the actual recordings. That path is the link placed beneath this message, in the description, and repeated in the pinned comment under this video, where the 3 doors I described earlier are shown clearly. Restoration, reception, complete restoration. That is the only place where you will receive the actual genius song, the actual wealth signal, the full set of supporting bonuses across both products, the complete 90-day guarantee, and the technical access that the original researchers built. Do not search for these recordings on Amazon. Do not search on streaming platforms. Do not search on third-party audio stores. Do not search anywhere else. The actual recordings are not sold through those channels. The chosen ones who try to find them through those channels will receive imitations that do not contain the actual technology. I want you to receive the actual technology, so I will say it again with care. The only path is the one placed beneath this message, the description, the pinned comment, 3 doors, 1 real source. Nothing else. Now we approach the moment of decision. I want to walk through this moment with you slowly, because the decision moment for a marked window is sacred, and sacred moments are not rushed. Take a breath with me. Place your hand on the center of your chest if it feels right. Close your eyes for a moment. Notice where you are sitting. Notice the surface beneath you. Notice the temperature of the room. Notice the small sounds of wherever you are, the fan, the traffic, the soft hum of a refrigerator in a kitchen nearby. Come fully into the present moment. Drop all the way down. Now in this present moment, I want you to ask your spirit, not your mind, which of the 3 doors is for you in this window. Do not ask your bank account. Do not ask your worries. Do not ask the part of you that is afraid of choosing wrong. Ask your spirit. Your spirit has been waiting to be asked. Your spirit knows. It has known since the moment you began listening to this message. It probably knew before that, if you are honest. The asking is just so that you can hear the answer your spirit has already been holding for you. Restoration, the first door. Genius song alone. Wake the child mind, enough for a beginning. Reception, the second door. Wealth signal alone. Open the receiving channel, the rare path. Complete restoration, the third door. Both recordings, together, the full protocol, the most common path for chosen ones whose spirit confirms the marking on the 19th and the 20th. Take a moment, listen. Which door is yours? Do not move yet. Let the answer surface. The answer will be quiet. It will not arrive with thunder. It will arrive as a small sentence inside you, almost like a knowing you had already, just brought to the front of your awareness now that it has been named. Your spirit knows. Trust your spirit. The 3 doors are all honored. There is no wrong door for the chosen one whose spirit confirms. When the answer has surfaced, open your eyes. Look beneath this message. The 3 doors are placed there in clear order, in the description below this video. In the pinned comment that you will find under the comment section, step into the door that called to you while your eyes were closed. Do not second-guess your spirit. The chosen ones who second-guess their spirit at marked windows tend to walk past their own appointments. The chosen ones who trust their spirit at marked windows tend to walk into appointments they will look back on years later as the day their lives turned. That is the decision moment, quiet. Spirit-led, 3 doors, 1 step. Honored at every level. I want to tell you, very briefly, what happens after you step through your door. Because the chosen ones who walk through a door without knowing what comes next sometimes step through, look around, see no immediate fireworks, and then assume nothing happened. That assumption is a mistake. Let me tell you what actually happens. After you step through your door, you will receive a confirmation almost immediately. It is small. It is unceremonious. It is simply a confirmation that the access has been granted. You will not feel any cosmic event in your body in the moment of stepping through. The cosmic event has already happened in the choosing, before the stepping. The stepping is just the practical alignment of the outer world with the inner choice. Once you have stepped through, you receive the recordings. Headphones, a quiet place to sit. The first session, 7 minutes for the genius song, 5 minutes for the wealth signal, or both. In sequence, if you walked through the third door. Some chosen ones feel something noticeable in the first session. Others feel nothing in the first session. Both responses are normal. The work is happening regardless of what you feel. The frequency calibration does not wait for your subjective recognition before it begins. The recalibration starts the moment the audio reaches your auditory cortex. So even if the first session feels neutral to you, the work has already begun. Keep going. The protocol is a practice. Practice over weeks produces the shift. The shift then becomes the floor of your inner life from that point forward. Step through your door now, or before this window closes, if your spirit confirms. The window honors readiness. The window does not reward delay. Hear me now. I want to say something about the timing piece of all of this, because the Spirit is pressing me to be clear about it. The 19th and the 20th are 2 specific days. The window opens and the window closes. Once the window closes, it will not reopen on these specific dates for another 7 years. Other windows will open, other markings will arrive. But this specific window, this specific marking, this specific closure of this specific 7-year arc in your life is unique to these 48 hours. The recordings will still be available after the 20th. The Father does not pull tools off the table after a window closes, but the unique frequency of the window itself, the unique compression of heaven into these 2 days, is time-bound. So the Spirit is asking me to say this plainly. If you sense that your door has been named, walk through it before the window closes, not from fear. From honor, the honor of recognizing that windows have a beginning and an end, and that chosen ones who match the rhythm of the window are the chosen ones who receive the fullness of what the window is depositing. After the window, the recordings still work. The protocol still works. The restoration still happens. But the compressed deposit that the window itself is releasing is best received during the window, not after. So treat the timing with the reverence it deserves. The Father is not pressuring you. The Father is honoring you with the truth that the window has a shape. Receive the truth. Step at the right time. Or, if your spirit is not ready in this specific window, sit through it without guilt and watch for the next marking. The next marking will come. There are always next markings. But this window, with this particular marking, is the one you have been brought to right now. The choice is yours, and the choice will be honored either way. Before we move into the closing, I want to take care of 3 small actions that the Spirit is asking me to invite from you. These are not chores. These are sacred completions of the moment we have just walked through together. Each one is small. Each one matters. The first is this. If anything in this message has spoken to you, if your spirit lit up at any point, if you felt the marking confirmed in your body, take a moment to type the word "ready" into the comments under this message. Just the one word. Ready. Or, if your spirit asks for more, you can type, "I am ready, my window is open." The reason the typing matters is not for any algorithm. The reason is that the typing seals what you have received in this hour in writing, where you can return to it in the days ahead and see your own sealing, and where other chosen ones across the earth who are watching this message at the same time can see yours and be encouraged by it. We are a community of chosen ones, scattered across geography, walking the same windows in the same season. Your one word in the comments anchors your seat at the table. Take the moment, type the word. The second is this: if this message has reached you for a reason, take a moment before you move on to indicate that it landed. There is a small action available beneath this video that does not require any words. Use it to acknowledge that the message landed. The acknowledgement matters because it tells the spirit that you have received, not just consumed. Reception in the small everyday moments builds the muscle for reception in the large window moments. The chosen one who cannot receive a small offering cannot receive a large one. Begin the muscle now. Acknowledge what landed. The third is this: if you have a sense in your spirit that there is a specific person in your life who is also standing inside these 2 days without knowing it, send them this message, not to convince them of anything, just to put it in their hands. Some chosen ones cannot find the marking on their own and need another chosen one to point at it for them. The pointing is small, the sharing is small. The effect of the sharing, in a small number of cases, will be the difference between a marked window walked through and a marked window walked past. You will know in your spirit if there is one such person right now. Send it to that one person, just one. Do not flood your contacts. Send it to the one whose name is rising right now while I am saying this. Trust the rising. Send it. That is the third action. Now we begin to close. I want to do this slowly because the closing of a message about a marked window is itself part of the marked window. The way you receive the closing of this message will be the way you receive the closing of the 7-year arc that the 19th and the 20th are bringing to completion. So, we will close with care. Let me start by simply pausing with you. Settle into your seat. Drop your shoulders one more time. Notice your breath. Notice the soft work that has been happening inside you while you have been listening. Something has been moving. You may not be able to name it yet. That is fine. Some kinds of movement do not arrive in language for several days after the moment they begin. Just notice that something has moved. Acknowledge it inside yourself. Say, quietly, in whatever form is natural to you, something is moving in me. The acknowledgement is the first sacred action, just to recognize, without trying to organize, the small subterranean shift that has begun. I want to speak now with the deeper voice that has been moving underneath this whole message, because the Spirit is asking for that voice to be heard directly before we end. So, I will step aside, and I will let you hear it the way I have heard it. Take a breath, soften, and listen. I see you, chosen one. I have seen you. For all the years you have wondered if you were unseen. The hours when no one was watching, I was watching. The hours when no one was listening, I was listening. Every quiet prayer you whispered with your face turned toward a ceiling came directly to me. Not one was lost. Not one was discarded. I have kept them all. I have answered them all, though my answers have moved through seasons longer than the answers you were hoping for. Now, in this 2-day window I have set apart for the chosen ones in your generation, you will begin to see what I have been doing in the silence. You will begin to see why the answer took as long as it took. The shape of the answer required the shape of the formation. The shape of the formation required the years you were inside it. I made nothing wait without purpose. I made nothing slow without love. I held nothing back without kindness. And what I have been holding for you, I now begin to release. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not unworthy. You are not insufficient. You are not even ordinary. You are the chosen one. The carving I have done in you is not the carving of a stone, the artist had to settle for. The carving I have done in you is the carving of a stone I selected first, before time began, because I knew what I would make of you. The stone never had to convince me of its worth. The worth was the reason I chose it. The chosen one, in my language, is not the chosen one because of what she earned. The chosen one is the chosen one because of what I saw in her before she was given a name. Carry that, daughter. Carry that, son. You are the chosen one because I said so, and because what I said is the foundation under which the rest of your life is being built. The 19th and the 20th are days I marked in advance for those who would learn to recognize my voice when I called. You have recognized my voice. That is the only test that mattered. You have passed it. So receive what I am about to release into you over these 2 days. Receive it without flinching. Receive it without small print. Receive it without asking, am I sure this is for me? Yes, this is for you. I have prepared it specifically for you. Your name is on it. Your address in the spirit is on it. The window is mine to open and yours to walk through. Walk through it. I will be with you on the other side. I have always been with you on the other side. The other side is just the place where I have been waiting for you to arrive. That is the voice I have been hearing under this entire message. I bring it back to you because you needed to hear it in its own form, not just in my words. Now let me return to my own voice and walk us into the formal closing. I want to thank the Father, openly, for the way he has arranged this moment. Not all messages get to land in a marked window. This one has. That is not my doing. That is the Spirit. So I take a moment here to acknowledge, with gratitude, that I have been allowed to bring a word in this exact season to chosen ones across the earth. Thank you, Father, for the timing, for the message, for the marking on these 2 days, for the formation you have completed in the chosen ones listening across these 2 days, for the figure that is about to step out of the workshop and walk in the light, for the recordings the world has made available that meet your sequence exactly, for the convergence of science and spirit that nobody arranged except you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hold this moment in your hand. Place a fingerprint on it that the chosen ones can feel for weeks after the message ends. I want to acknowledge what each chosen one listening has carried. The carrying has been real. The carrying has not gone unnoticed. The carrying has been the offering. The offering has been received. Whatever weight you have been holding, I want you to feel, right now, the small loosening of the grip around it. Loosen one finger, loosen another, loosen another. Not because you have to release it all in a single instant. Just because the season for carrying it has ended, the chosen one in formation carries. The chosen one walking the figure into the world does not carry. She steps, she lives, she gives, she receives. The carrying is over. Let your hands open. Let what has been in your hands fall, slowly, gently, with no panic. Whatever falls was something the next chapter does not need you to hold. Whatever stays is the small set of essentials the next chapter actually requires. Trust the falling. Trust the staying. The hands of the chosen one in the new chapter are open hands. Open hands receive, closed hands carry. The carrying is over. I want you to take one more action with me here, in this moment, before we move into the declaration. I want you to picture the formation chamber you have been inside for the last 7 years. Picture it however your spirit pictures it. A workshop, a cell, a garden, a long road, a series of small rooms, a house with no light, a long, quiet hospital corridor. Whatever shape your formation has taken in your memory, picture it. Now picture yourself, the version of you that is listening to this message, standing at the door of that chamber, with your hand on the knob, on the inside of the chamber. The door has not been opened from the inside in 7 years. It has been closed by the chisel of the formation, but the chisel is set down now. The work is complete, the figure is finished, and the door is yours to open. So, in this moment, in your spirit, turn the knob, open the door, step out. Notice the light on the other side. Notice that the air is fresh in a way the chamber air has not been fresh in 7 years. Notice that there are people on the other side of the door who have been waiting for you to come out. Some of them you know. Some of them you have not yet met. They have all been waiting. They have all been ready. Step into them. Step into the light. The formation is over. The walking has begun. The new chapter is the chapter you live the rest of your time on the earth inside of. That is the release. That is the threshold. That is the seal of these 2 days landing on your body in this exact moment as you listen. I want you to stand for 1 moment longer just outside the chamber. Turn around. Look back at the chamber you have just walked out of. Not to return, just to acknowledge. Inside that chamber, a younger version of you sat for years carrying weights she had no language for, in conditions she did not choose, with companions who often did not understand her. Look at her with kindness. Say in your spirit, you did well. You did enough. You did what you were able to do with what you were given. Whatever you blamed yourself for, set down. Whatever you wished you had done differently, release. The younger version of you is honored. The younger version of you is the reason the figure could be carved. Now, turn back toward the light. Take the next step away from the chamber. The chamber is allowed to recede. The chamber does not need to be erased. The chamber is the chapter that has just closed. It will remain in your memory as part of the story, but it will no longer be the room you live inside of. The room you live inside of, from this point forward, is the open room beyond the chamber, the room with the people who have been waiting, the room with the light that has been ready, the room where the new chapter begins. And now, I will declare over you, because every marked window deserves a declaration that closes it properly. So lean in, receive these words like words spoken to your name, because the Spirit is asking me to speak them to your name. I declare over you that the 7-year formation in your life is complete. I declare that the carving has ended and the figure has emerged. I declare that the version of you that has been forming in the dark has stepped into the light, and that this version is the version you walk as from this day forward. I declare that the marked window of May the 19th and the 20th is yours, that the deposit being released through this window has your name on it, and that the receiving channel through which the deposit will land is opening in you now, by the grace of the Father, by the work of the Spirit, by the sequence of the kingdom He set down long ago. I declare that the child mind in you, dimmed for so many years, is rising back into its rightful place at the front of your awareness, that the wonder is returning, that the curiosity is returning, that the magic is returning, that the small recognitions you used to have as a small child are coming back into your hands. I declare that the stress signal that has been humming under your nervous system for years, telling you that you must strive, must scan, must hold tight, must brace, must protect, must defend, must perform, is going quiet, slowly and steadily, over the days and weeks that follow this moment, until the humming has dropped to the level the Father designed it to live at, which is the level of an occasional alarm for actual danger and nothing more. I declare that the receiving channel, the alpha channel, is opening in you, that you will begin to notice ideas arriving on time, opportunities arriving on time, the right person texting at the right hour, the right book opening to the right page, the right resource appearing exactly when the resource is needed. I declare that the financial heaviness that has sat on your chest for years is beginning to lift, not in a moment of fireworks, but in a steady, undramatic flow of right doors opening, right offers landing, right relationships forming, right resources arriving without your having to claw for them. I declare that the relationships in your life are realigning around the new you that is walking out of the chamber. Some old rooms will fall quietly out of your calendar. New rooms that did not exist before will appear. The right people will draw close. The wrong people will gently distance themselves. None of it will require you to defend, explain, or perform. The realignment will happen on its own as the new frequency you carry begins to organize the space around you. I declare that your body is being given permission to rest in a deeper way than it has rested in 7 years. That sleep is going to deepen, that dreams are going to clarify, that the morning weight that has been part of your waking will gradually lift, that you will begin to wake up feeling tangibly held by a father who has been holding you the entire time, even when the holding could not be felt. I declare that the voice in you that has whispered for years that you might not be enough is being silenced by the louder voice of the Father saying, "You are exactly enough. You have always been exactly enough. And what you are now is what I have been making out of you for the express purpose of releasing into the lives of those who need exactly you. I declare that you are not behind. I declare that you are not too late. I declare that you are not too tired. I declare that the season of feeling tired is ending. I declare that the season of feeling powered is beginning, not because you have new effort, but because you have new frequency. I declare that the chosen one in you is rising into her name. I declare that the chosen one in you is no longer apologizing for taking up space. I declare that the chosen one in you knows. I declare that the chosen one in you receives. I declare that the chosen one in you walks. And I declare that the chosen one in you, on the other side of this window, is the gift the Father has been making, the figure he has been carving, the answer to prayers that other people in your life have been praying without your knowing, the response to longings that the Spirit had recorded long before you spoke them out loud, the chosen one who will not be okay until the chosen one arrives. The chosen one is here. The chosen one is now. The chosen one is awake. The chosen one is walking. Receive that declaration. Let it settle. Do not move past it quickly. Hold the words inside your body for a few seconds, longer than feels comfortable. Words this strong require time to land. They are landing now. And now we close. I want you to feel in your body the soft, heavy stillness that follows a long ceremony when the words have finally been said, and the room knows that everything that needed to be spoken has been spoken. That stillness is the seal. The seal is what the chosen ones in the wisdom traditions of long ago called the moment after which it is done. It is done. The carving has been completed. The window is open. The figure walks. The receiving channel is opening. The frequency truth and the kingdom truth have converged. The tools have been placed within reach. The Spirit has confirmed for those whose Spirit has confirmed. The doors are beneath the message for those whose Spirit is moving them. The chosen one knows her door. The chosen one has done her work in this hour by listening with an open heart, by acknowledging what she has acknowledged, by allowing what is needed to fall to fall. The chosen one is sealed. The seal cannot be removed. The seal cannot be lost. The seal cannot be doubted out of you by any voice that whispers tomorrow morning that this was all imagination. The seal is on you because the Father has placed it on you, and what the Father places, no smaller voice can lift. You are not the same person you were at the start of this message. You will not be able to undo the listening you have done in this hour. The listening has rearranged the deep architecture of your inner life. The rearrangement is permanent. The walking will begin slowly in the days ahead, but the rearrangement that makes the walking possible has already happened. That is the way these things work. The inside changes first. The outside follows. The outside is following already. You will see it soon. You will see it in the small recognitions you have across the remaining hours of this window. You will see it in the way certain conversations land differently than they used to land. You will see it in the way your eyes open at 3 in the morning and the room is somehow quieter than it has been in years. You will see it in the way an old wound, which you had assumed was permanent, begins to soften without your having done anything specific to soften it. The rearrangement is real. The walking is starting. The window is yours. Go gently now. Move through the rest of your day with attention. This hour is part of the window. The hours ahead of you are part of the window. Whatever time remains of the 19th and the 20th belongs to the window. Whatever rises in you across these 2 days, treat it with reverence. The rising is the marking landing. Honor what rises. Sit with what asks to be sat with. Cry what asks to be cried. Laugh what asks to be laughed. Reach for the recordings if your spirit has confirmed them. Take the step. Do not delay past your spirit's confirmation. The chosen ones who delay past their spirit's confirmation tend to look back later and wish they had not delayed. Take the step. The doors are beneath the message. 3 options: restoration, reception, complete restoration. Walk through the one your spirit has named. Or sit in the awareness this hour has given you and walk later, if walking later is what your spirit is saying. Either way, the listening has done its work. The work is done. I bless you, chosen one. I bless the figure that has stepped out of the formation. I bless the child mind that is rising back into the front of your awareness. I bless the receiving channel that is opening in your nervous system. I bless the 7 years of carving that brought you to this exact hour, this exact message, this exact window. I bless the days ahead, with their small recognitions and their soft realignments and their steady flow of right things landing at right times. I bless the body that has carried you through the formation. I bless the heart that has stayed soft enough to receive what this hour has carried. I bless the small bird in your ribcage that you have kept alive for so long. I bless the song the bird is about to sing. I bless the people whose lives are about to be touched by what you are carrying, the ones you know and the ones you have not yet met. I bless the friendships about to deepen and the ones about to gently complete. I bless the financial flow about to widen. I bless the gift you are about to allow yourself to receive. I bless the gift you are about to allow yourself to give. I bless the rest you are about to allow yourself to take. I bless the joy you are about to allow yourself to feel. I bless the quiet you are about to allow yourself to live inside of. Bless, bless, bless every part of you, every door you walk through, every conversation you have, every step you take. Bless, bless, bless. And it is done. Stay with this. Do not jump up. Do not rush. Sit in this for a moment longer. Let the seal land all the way down. Feel the small warmth in your chest that arrives when the right words have been spoken at the right time. That warmth is the marking landing physically in your body. That warmth will return in soft pulses across the remaining hours of this window every time you remember a sentence from this message. The remembering is the receiving completing itself. Let it complete. Do not interrupt the completing with hurry. The chosen one in the new chapter does not hurry. The chosen one in the new chapter receives with attention, with reverence, with gratitude. Before I let you go, I want to remind you of the very simple structure of what comes next. The window is the 19th and the 20th. The deposit is being released. The tools, for those whose spirit confirms, are beneath this message in 3 forms. The pinned comment and the description carry the same 3 doors: restoration, reception, complete restoration. Walk the one your spirit has named, or sit in this hour's awareness and walk when the walking arrives. Type the small word in the comments if you have not yet. Acknowledge the small action if it speaks to you. Send the message to the one specific person whose name has risen in you. Take care of your body for the rest of this window. Sleep deeply. Drink water. Eat real food. Be near soft light. Let small joy arrive. The window will land. The carving has ended. The figure walks. The chosen one is home. I want to give you, very gently, a small guide for the 48 hours themselves, because some chosen ones have asked me, in past windows, what they should actually do during the marked days, and the asking has been honest. So here are the small instructions, offered as suggestions, not as rules. At the next natural pause in your day, whether that is later this morning, this afternoon, this evening, or first thing when you wake tomorrow, sit in silence for 10 minutes with your eyes closed and your hand on your chest. Just breathe. Just notice. Just sit. Let the marking find your body without competition from the daily input. Do this at least once today and once tomorrow, ideally near the beginning and near the end of each remaining day in the window. The mornings and evenings of the 19th and the 20th are the moments when the window is at its most permeable. So whatever mornings and evenings remain for you inside this window, give your body 10 minutes of quiet at each one. That is the small investment that produces the most receiving. Beyond that, walk through the days normally. Go to your work. Take care of your responsibilities. Be with your people. Eat your meals. The marked window does not require you to retreat from your life. The marked window asks only that you make space for these small 10-minute pockets across the 2 days so that the deposit can land without the deposit being drowned by the noise of an unprotected day. That is the only specific instruction. Beyond that, the window does its work. If a strong impulse rises in you on either day to write something down, to call someone, to make a specific decision you have been postponing, to take a specific action, follow the impulse. Strong impulses arriving inside marked windows are usually the deposit speaking. The deposit will not ask you to do anything destructive. The deposit will not ask you to harm yourself or anyone else. The deposit will ask you to do small, honest things you have been postponing. Write the letter to the family member you have been meaning to write. Make the phone call you have been meaning to make. Send the message you have been drafting for months. Sign up for the thing your spirit has been pointing at for a long time. Move the money you have been meaning to move. Read the book you have been meaning to open. The window does not produce dramatic instructions. The window produces small completions. Follow them when they arise. They are part of the deposit landing. After the 20th closes, you will move into what I call the integration period. The integration period is the 90 days following the close of the window. During those 90 days, what was deposited during the window slowly settles into the architecture of your life. Some of the visible changes will appear within the first 2 weeks. Others will appear in the second month. Others will appear at the end of the 90 days. The integration is not a single event. The integration is a slow, steady, unspectacular unfolding of what the window planted in you. If, at the end of the first week, you do not see anything dramatic, that is not a problem. The integration is on schedule. The most dramatic changes from any marked window in the chosen one, life almost always appear between day 40 and day 70 after the close of the window. So if day 50 is when you notice the new pattern arriving, that is normal. If day 20 is when you notice it, that is also normal. The schedule varies by chosen one, and by what specifically the window was depositing for her. Trust the schedule. The integration is real. The integration is happening. You will know by 90 days what the window planted. Then you walk the rest of your life with what was planted growing inside you. I love you, chosen one. The Father loves you. The window loves you. The marking is real. The deposit is yours. The figure is yours. The next chapter is yours. Receive it all. Receive it slowly. Receive it without flinching. Receive it like a child receives. You are home.